Hello and welcome. This is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching.
It's the house!
Have you lost the last 3 brain cells, or do you just have cabbage for brains? 5 brain cells, 4 aren't working. There's mosquitoes the size of bald eagles in that dadgum swamp.
Hello. Oh, wow. What's going on over there? Benny and Clancy. Benny's crazy. Just really focused in on Clancy like every 2 seconds. Anyways, sounds like one of those stalkers, one of the wacko stalkers that follow my channel. They have nothing better to do. They just spend the whole day. What's Gray saying today? Yeah. Now, that video did better. It started doing better today actually than it did yesterday. But that whole video, even though it got like 10,000 views, how much do you think ad revenue that is on that video? What do you think that is for like 11? I think it had 11,000 views yesterday. What do you think? And the average watch time was 8 minutes and 40 seconds or something. Take a guess. What do you think the ad revenue on that was? Well, more than $3. Now, Lisa Valenzuela was pretty close there. It was $60. Isn't that just insanely shitty? Like, you spend all that time making the video, and that means now that it's doubled, it's wild. I don't know how they come up with those numbers, but yeah. Anyways, we're going to go over the this new document that came out that's 40 pages long. Maybe we'll just go over the whole thing and sort of skip over the the precedent setting notations. I hate those. Those are so boring. Yeah, I don't think there's no way it's going to get delayed that long. There's no chance. I mean, I think there's a chance that it won't get delayed, but I think that the defense has ammunition now. What's funny is somebody made a comment on Facebook. They said something to the effect of, "Oh man, that special that was on Dateline might lead to them being a delay." And this person typed below him, let's see, it was something like, "What are you worried about? Are you scared? Are you worried?" See, that's the thing. The Kohbergers want Kohberger to get off on some kind of a technicality of some sort. A person who killed 4 people. So they're all excited. And one of the main reasons they're excited is because they haven't ever covered anything else in their entire life. So all they have is Kohberger. And after that, people will be like, yeah, you're not really that, you're not interesting. And the reality will come crashing down. We've covered thousands of cases. Right now I'm covering this one more than a lot because that's what everybody wants to talk about. I used to not care, but now I have to. Because there's so many YouTubers now, they can just go watch whatever. But anyways, we're starting another show. You know what that means, everybody? So if you're out there and you have the ability to help support the channel like Rick Jr. right there, like Rick Jr. just threw out there.
To support the channel and the freaks.
Thank you. It was Rick Jr. Here it is right here. Oh wait, I have to hold on. The screen's gonna go black for a second. I have to. All right, does that work? There we go. Support for the channel and the freaks. All right. So like that, you guys. If you guys can support the channel, that'd be great. We don't have a lot of people watching again, as per usual, but that's all right. Hello, FSC figure skating coach. Oh yeah, so I do have an update in this. You guys want to see it now all the way through? It's only a minute. So here we go. Now I moved. Somebody was right in the comments. They said that Dylan doesn't come out of the room until after she hears somebody's here, not when she hears what sounds like a dog. I looked it up. All right, so anyways, here it is. So I changed the timing of some stuff, and I can just move the clips around. So here comes the, going upstairs. It gets really kind of creepy, after all this. So he's in that room for about a minute. That's easily enough time to kill both of them. So Xana comes out of her room, and then she's in the kitchen. And I think when she's back over here, kind of looking over the door, she probably says, hey, there's somebody here. And then Dylan looks out, can't see Xana or anything, but she's like, doesn't see anything, and then goes back in her room, but there's some fighting going on upstairs. And then there's Xana, and there's the fighting some more, and then she's like, let me go, I'm gonna go out. And she goes upstairs. Thanks, Marissa. Sheldon. Hey, what do you guys think of this? So I put it together. Watch this. That's crazy, right? You can just kind of see like, oh. Now that's gonna then right there I'll start fighting. That's where I'm at. Is that crazy or what? I mean, I think it's pretty nuts. I think I came away making the sequence really pretty good. Like there she's heading down the stairs, he comes out, and then like doesn't that look pretty crazy with the, like you can see both of them now, and then he comes after. See, right there. What was the troll? I didn't see a troll in here. Oh, that one. Yeah. Oh, that troll. Yeah. Yes, everybody, take what I say with a grain of salt. But when you hear an actual clown and a guy from the UK talk, it's golden, man. Even though they come up with a different theory every week. So doesn't that mean that the theory that they had the week before was completely bull crap? And why would you then believe anything that they say anymore? Yeah, I could see like an evolving theory, like the case is the same, but maybe they step out of the car with their right foot instead of the left foot. Thanks, Marissa Sheldon. So, I don't know. And then right here, then I'm going to switch a camera inside the room. She's kind of ducking down like, like, then he comes up, and I think I should just do it from like right there. I don't need any, like, just kind of a motion.
Ocean wave emoji. Ocean wave emoji. Ocean wave emoji.
Yeah, and then I just cut over to a shot from in the room. Doors open. I think right here he kills her pretty quick. He thinks he does. And she's on the ground. Then he goes straight over to Ethan and stabs him in the neck. And then guess what? She isn't dead yet. He thought she was. And she stands up, and then he goes, "Hey, I'm here to help, you know." Trying to make her like, what are you doing? Because she's in shock. She's like, "Who are you?" "I'm here to help." And then he attacks her again, and that's where you hear then the crash, the thud sound, and maybe, you know, who knows, like when the dog was barking. I don't know when he sat in the chair, you know. How long was that? Maybe he just fell into the chair, and it looked like he sat there for a while. Thanks, Alley Cake. Look at that. Alley Cake put the wave on the screen. Will people follow Alley Cake's wave attempt? Who said it was a funny story? Anonymity. Hey, thanks, Shay 530. I got another crazy email today, another stalker type. Emoji. You know, it's just unbelievable stuff. You know, they're like, "Gray, you followed 3 channels on your public, your channels that you subscribe to are public, and you followed 3 channels that are people that that she has some thing with." And then she thought that I somehow figured out these people and then followed them because of her. And then, I mean, I'm just telling you guys, people out there are crazy people, right? There's a lot of crazy people in this world.
Ocean wave emoji. Ocean wave emoji. Ocean wave
Thanks,
emoji.
Amy Lemoyne. I mean, you guys you just would be shocked at the stuff I have to deal with. It's crazy. Looney Tune level stuff. I mean, absolutely crazy. And I said, "Well, who are the people?" And then I went, "Oh shit, I can block who I'm subscribed to." So I went and did that. Now they'll say, "See, you're hiding who you were subscribed." Ah, man, you can't win, man. This is just crazy. Let's see, Amy Lemoyne, thank you. No, it's not the more crazy, the more believable. That's complete garbage. Yeah. Some people, the more crazy, literally just the more crazy they are. I don't have any idea what the person's even talking about, and they wouldn't answer. They are, in fact, a nut job. I think I don't know if she's a nut job. I think what it is I think she has something similar to my mom. My mom has gotten really paranoid and very. I mean, it's really irrational stuff, and so I kind of think that there's people out there, and they don't know it though. That's the thing. They don't realize that they're like that. They think that they're really onto something, and they're really, and it's crazy. Thank you, M. Morgan.
Trying to find the dang wave emoji.
I haven't seen the dang wave emoji. What does that look like? the dang wave. What does the dang wave emoji look like? Well, anyways, here's the this big document that came out. I mean, like, it even has a table of contents. I mean, that's when you know something's long. It's 40 pages long. You know what's weird about Ann Taylor? It's like you can't find time to watch a couple of freaking surveillance videos, but you're writing these 40-page long documents with notations and all kinds of legal, citations, etc., etc. So how long did that take you to make? Spend the same amount of time looking at some of the surveillance footage, for God's sakes. Man, we're still in that hello, 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 hello,
I'm fired out of midnight, down 15, all the man, but I'm 15, I'm 15, 20, I'm 15, I'm 20, I'm 5, I'm 30, 30, 25, I'm 30, I'm 30, sir, 25, and you're out, I'm
All right, I just said hello to everybody. She is purposely setting it up for the ineffective counsel. I don't think that's what she's doing. She's trying for all kinds of just Hail Mary stuff. Unfortunately, you know, one of the bigger things, and the judge seemed to be mad about, was this Dateline leak stuff. The leak came from the FBI. I don't know if it matters, though. I mean, that's what I was told. I don't know for certain, but the person who told me likely would know the answer. So, like, I think it came from the FBI, and so that wouldn't be the prosecution. So you could, sometimes the judge will punish the, like either side, the prosecution. Usually it's the prosecution side for doing something, and they'll like take away some piece of evidence, or, you know, like, yeah, maybe even delay it. It's crazy. I guess we should just go through the whole damn thing, except I'm going to skip all the citations and everything. Alright, but I'm going to need you guys to supporting the channel while I'm doing this, alright? Because it's just a lot of reading, and I won't be able to be doing really like, yay, you know, entertaining stuff to try to get it going. Let's see, can I go over here further? I mean, this damn screen is so freaking far away. Just made
That
it
is a
further.
snap. The poor families.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess she's just doing what her job is, but I don't really. I think what I don't like about Ann Taylor is she knows her client did it, and she's just absolutely uninterested in looking at, because she knows there isn't going to be an answer to why, oh, he isn't the person, right? So she's just lazily going through the case. Unbelievable. Hey, thanks, Kami. Look at that. 5 memberships there, you guys. We got Trudy MCK, Samantha McKenna, Truth Seeker, Birdie, and Bon Bon. Let's see. This court has the obligation to enforce the constitutional right of all persons. I think this says the same thing, right? This court has an obligation to uphold Mr. Kohberger's constitutional right by vacating the trial date because defense counsel needs additional time to review discovery and prepare for the complex merits and sentencing phases unique to death penalty cases. Well, you've had this time, though. That's the thing. The court has an obligation to enforce the constitutional right of all persons, including persons brown. I don't want to do that. Upon the state's courts, equally with the courts of the Union, rests the obligation to guard, enforce, and protect every right granted or secured by the Constitution. As detailed in this motion, moving forward with a capital trial in August will infringe upon Mr. Kohberger's constitutional rights, as counsel requires more time to review discovery, complete investigations, and prepare for trial. When considering this request for a continuance,
Ocean wave emoji. Ocean
hey,
wave
thanks,
emoji.
FSC
Ocean wave
figure
emoji.
skating coach.
Ocean wave emoji.
When considering this request for a continuance, the court must weigh the issue against the heightened need for reliability in death penalty cases. Yeah, I mean, I'm for having reliability in death penalty cases. Yeah. This elevated standard is essential because execution is the most irreversible and profound penalty. Indeed, death is different. And that was in a 1986 case. When the state seeks the death penalty, it imposes an extraordinary burden upon the court itself and defense counsel to ensure the fairness, accuracy, and reliability of the trial and any subsequent sentencing proceeding. With a defendant's life stake, you mean at stake, the trial court must be particularly life stake. Yeah. The trial court must particularly sensitive to ensure the every safeguard is observed. Let me see. I don't really care about it. I just want to go down. The Sixth Amendment entitles Mr. Kohberger to the effective assistance of counsel at both the merits and penalty phase of this capital case. Additionally, I see what you were saying earlier about the effectiveness of counsel, meaning like it wasn't their fault they weren't effective, though. It was but for them not having more time, they were not because of their own fault, they were ineffective. Additionally, and let's see, concomitantly, never heard of that word in my life. Have you guys ever heard of that word? Concomitantly? Is that a... Jesus, I gotta look that one up. At the same time. Why don't you say simultaneously? I think that would make everybody just would know that. I bet you, most of you haven't seen that word, right? Concomitantly. As part of the Sixth Amendment guarantees, as well as the right to due process as protected by the 14th Amendment, Mr. Kohberger is entitled to a sufficient amount of time to allow counsel to adequately prepare for trial and sentencing. But when is that amount of time up? Hey, thanks, Michelle H. Catching another wave. All right. Hey, look at that. It's Cheryl Moran. Thank you. I had everybody put out some positive vibes for your loss of your pet, your dog, the other day. I know the feeling. Thank you.
Hello, Grand Freaks. Heartsuit emoji. Sorry I'm late.
No, you don't have to say you're sorry. You just show up when you can. That's how it works in here. I have not what? That word. Yeah. I mean, I think that's a very uncommonly used word. Gray, I use it all the time. You know why? Because you're a paralegal? That's right, Gray. Let's see. A defendant charged with a serious crime must not be stripped of his right to have sufficient time to advise with counsel and prepare his defense. Powell made it clear that in order to preserve the accused's rights to a fair trial and to effective and substantial assistance of counsel at the trial, the Sixth Amendment guarantees necessarily encompasses a reasonable period of time before trial during which counsel might prepare for the defense. The Supreme Court has recognized that depriving a person of counsel during the period prior to trial may be more damaging than denial. Well, they're not being denied counsel, though. They're just, you guys have had 2.5 years to do this. It's stupid. The Supreme Court has recognized that depriving a person, let's see, hold on. No, it's 3 years. It'll be, August is almost 3 years. It's 2 years and 9 months. Just because she was lazy as hell during these 3 years, what do you do, by the way, in that situation? So let's say you have this person, and they've got this lazy as hell attorney, and there's all these years go by, and they don't do any preparation. Here's the trial, and they suck. I mean, but at what point do you quit giving more time, and more time, and more time, and more time? When does it end, for God's sakes? Like, because they'll come back and say, okay, we'll give you till December. Is that enough? Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah. December comes around. You know what, Your Honor? We got a couple more exhibits and we just didn't have the time. And then we have to wait again and again and again. When does it end? Is there a reasonable amount of time that we get to, what do you guys think of that? Is anybody here? Hello? It's video. Yeah, those terabytes are videos. Hey, thanks in America. Be patient. Oh yeah, be patient for when? Like 5 more years of this? Seriously?
Your channel stands out because it doesn't rely on speculation. Instead, you gather facts, leverage technology, and apply common sense to support and strengthen your narrative.
Well, that's exactly right. In America, that's exactly right. You pretty much summed up the channel in one sentence. I could type, my channel stands out because it doesn't rely on speculation. Instead, I gather facts, leverage technology, and apply common sense to support and strengthen my narrative. There you go. That's pretty good. I think that's sort of like the sound bite, right? The Supreme Court has recognized that depriving a person of counsel during the period prior to trial, well, he hasn't been deprived. In a capital case, counsel must meet specific professional obligations to be constitutionally effective. The ABA guidelines. So what they're saying is, you're not allowing, because you want the trial in August, you're not allowing us, the defense team, to be professional. We're not able to do what we need to be doing to meet the expectations and obligations for counsel regarding the death penalty. I see. Hey, Linda Howe, as in Linda Moulden Howe of the cattle mutilations and crop circles. How you feeling out there? Yeah, I think, yeah, she just wants more checks, I think. I mean, I think this is just all kind of saying the same stuff here. Let's go to this part. Mr. Kohberger is also entitled to an individualized sentencing determination. I guess up here it tells us what each segment is, right? So this is B. Okay, and then let's see, the right to a qualified expert assistance. All right, so I guess we'll do those parts. So Mr. Kohberger is also entitled to an individualized sentencing determination, a constitutional right that is uniquely reserved for defendants facing the death penalty. So this is page 7. Let me, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to grab this thing. Table of contents. I have heard of that. All right. I'm just putting it below the file, save as. Yep, there we go. Open that up. Okay, so we'll always have this here to look at. Because the prosecution is seeking to execute him, Mr. Kohberger also has additional constitutional rights in the proceeding. The Eighth Amendment requires that capital sentencing proceeding permit individualized consideration of the defendant and the circumstances of the offense. Let's see. Where's the next sentence? I mean, this just goes on and on and on with these different... You guys don't want to hear about all these little, like, sightings, do you? Like, Parker versus Duggar, 498, US 308, blah, 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 blah. As the Supreme Court noted in Emanuel versus Florida, we insist on individualized consideration as a constitutional requirement in opposing the death sentence, which means that we must focus on relevant facts on the character and record of the individual offender. The U.S. Supreme Court has repeatedly emphasized that in a capital case, a jury must be given the opportunity to consider all evidence that might weigh against a death sentence for any particular offender. The evidence includes anything at all from the defendant's life history and cannot be limited, explaining that a sentencer may not be precluded from considering as a mitigating factor any aspect of the defendant's character or record. Yeah, I mean, like, you know, I think they would obviously not give him the death penalty, for example, if they heard that he said, you have nice birthing hips. You know, that would obviously at that point you'd look at him and go, man, he's a lunatic. Let's see. The U.S. Supreme Court has repeatedly emphasized that in a capital case, the jury must get an opportunity to consider all evidence. Right. We were down here. Character, explaining that a sentencer may not be precluded from considering as a mitigating factor any aspect of the defendant's character or record and any of the circumstances of the offense that the defendant proffers as a basis for a sentence less than death. I mean, look at how they must have just done a ton of research. They probably were working on this the whole time in the last months just to extend it more. We got trolls in here tonight. Let's see. When a jury is denied relevant mitigating evidence, either because counsel independently fails to conduct a complete investigation or because the court denies defense counsel adequate time or resources to conduct such... here's the thing, is they have given them enough time. So what do you do now? You just go, well, we'll give you more time. And then that time ends out and they go, well, we need more time. Okay, we'll give you more time. When does it end is what I'm trying to... We're almost at 3 years. She's just a lazy attorney. Okay? She hasn't done her job. And everybody knows it except pro-burgers. They think she's the greatest attorney on the planet. Hey, thank you, Gloria Butari. When a jury is denied relevant mitigating evidence, either because counsel independently fails to conduct a complete investigation or because the court denies defense counsel adequate time or resources to conduct such an investigation, the defendant writes under the 6th, 8th, and 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, as well as the corollary guarantees in the Idaho Constitution, are violated, and any resulting death sentence cannot stand. Thus, individualized sentencing requires the presentation of mitigating evidence that is properly investigated, documented, and presented with the help of appropriate experts. As detailed further below, this process is a comprehensive, time-consuming, and expensive undertaking, but it is also what our Constitution demands when the government seeks to extinguish human life. All right, here's the next part. The right to qualified expert assistance as part of the guarantee to effective assistance of counsel and individualized sentencing proceeding. In line with heightened protections afforded to capital defendant and stemming from the rights to a meaningful opportunity to present a complete defense. This is just all going through. Let's see. Let me just see where it comes down here. As discussed further below in Section 3E, defendant counsel cannot know the full range of experts that may be necessary until after the extensive social history investigation. So I guess they're saying, like, you can have experts about his past, you know, his psychological makeup, you know, they probably want to do the whole autism thing again. And I guess right here it says, however, in a case where the prosecution elects to seek the death penalty, the right to access competent expert assistance is particularly important, given that the prosecution and the defense rely more extensively on experts in death penalty cases than other types of criminal cases. All right. This part, Section 3A, counsel's professional and ethical obligations in a capital case. Counsel's duty to provide effective assistance of counsel in accordance with the prevailing professional norms. Right, but where have you been, Ann? You're 3 years into this. I mean, I don't really understand how this works, really. It's just, it's mind-numbing. It's stupid. 3 years in, and she's saying, yeah, I just don't have the time, man. I don't have the time. I got a cooking class on Tuesday. I got these other cases that I'm doing, and, you know, and I don't know. That's what it feels like. She just, in order to effectuate Mr. Kohberger's constitutional rights as described above, counsel must at least meet the minimum professional obligations for counsel on a capital case as outlined in the ABA guidelines. The ABA guidelines require high quality. Well, you're right about that, Ann. They probably should have got somebody else other than you. High quality legal representation for all persons facing the possible imposition of execution of a death sentence by any jurisdiction. Among many other things, the ABA guidelines recognize that every task ordinarily performed in the presentation of a criminal defendant is more difficult and time-consuming when the defendant is facing execution. Due to the extraordinary and irrevocable nature of the penalty, at every stage of the proceeding, counsel must make extraordinary efforts on behalf of the accused. Really? I don't know, this is just a little overboard here. Yeah, I mean, you would hope that an attorney would put a little bit more work in knowing that their client was going to be given the death penalty, but Ann Taylor seemed to miss that memo. Well, that's not the wrong. There's no wrong person, though. I'm just barely getting started. Okay, there isn't a wrong person. Your comment up there is idiotic. All right. Let's see. LNEG said, "I'll keep the faith in you, Gray, despite."
Dumbat loves the spotlight.
Let's see. I'll keep the faith in you, Gray, despite the BS happening with stupidity. Dumb Ann Taylor loves the spotlight. Yeah, you know, I think it's still like a better chance than not that it's still going to happen. However, I think that they also put in this document the portion regarding Dateline's episode, and I think that portion may create, you know, that's sort of the out where they might get extra time because of that. And I don't blame I do not blame Dateline at all. Okay? You might blame the person who told Dateline, but if you're Dateline, that's what your job is. You go around and you try to dig and dig around, and you try to make sources, and you get information, and that's how it works. All right? Nobody should be blaming Dateline for putting out an episode. You should blame the person, whether it be the FBI or somewhere else, who gave Dateline the information. Hold on a second. I don't know what this... God. Portland General Electric. Hey, Greg. We have a pro... Jeez, get out of here. Let's see. Every time you ask, are no Kohbergers that can say why they think he's not guilty. Every time you ask, there are no Kohbergers. Yeah, they never have the answer. You have this, person up above. I don't know what they were talking about. Hey, thanks, Allie Cake. Say no to lulz, she said. No, say no to lulz. My favorite phrase. Now, the minimum requirement counsel must meet in investigating the merit phase in the cap. I don't know. I'm just going to go through and down this. And how about this? I'll go down and we'll find what we think is interesting. And then I'll play when I had ChatGPT summarize the entire thing. Right? And as a matter of fact, why don't we just do that? And then we can say, oh, let's listen to... Because it's really much quicker. I'm just going to open this up. And then what I'll say was, it's already there, so let's see. Oh, sorry, that was my other thing here. Yeah, I actually got, I think that was my conversation with a ABC. They're trying to get one of my interviews that I conducted in the past, and they want it part of their archive. So I'm giving them the rights to have my... that was just on the screen there. So in case the trolls are out there, hey, read that! You know how they are. Every time I pop something up on the screen, they have to go read it. Like, I've actually accidentally showed my passwords on the screen before. And I've had to, stop the show and reset every password that showed up on the screen. Oh, you didn't miss. I just had an email exchange on the screen. That's it. All right, so this right here is, let me just say, add more detail. That way it's, or maximum. Add maximum detail. All right, and then we'll go through it. I don't think Ann Taylor was the leaker. If it turns out that's the case, well, that she'll really damage. That's ineffective counsel right there. That would destroy. All right, right here.
Here is an in-depth summary of the May 20th, 2025 motion to continue filed by Brian Kohberger's defense. This motion is a highly detailed legal request, asking the court to postpone the trial scheduled for August 20th, 25, due to...
Hey, by the way, thanks to Julie and on Julie H and Aspen G on PayPal. Thank you.
Ongoing investigation, incomplete discovery review, extensive mitigation requirements, and prejudicial media coverage. Core premise. Kohberger's defense argues that proceeding with a capital murder trial in August 2025 would violate his constitutional rights under the 5th, 6th, 8th, and 14th Amendments, U.S. Constitution. Article 1, Sections 6, 7, 8, and 13, Idaho Constitution. Key legal foundations. The defense rests its argument on well-established Supreme Court precedents. Death is different. The irreversible nature of the death penalty requires heightened due process and reliability, Woodson v. North Carolina, Ford v. Wainwright. Effective counsel includes adequate time to prepare Powell v. Alabama. Individualized sentencing is a constitutional requirement in capital cases, Lockett v. Ohio Eddings v. Oklahoma. 7 main arguments of the motion. 1. Defense is not ready. Discovery is massive and still under review. Defense must investigate alternate suspects and counter the entire state's narrative. Failure to finish this would result in ineffective assistance of counsel, violating Strickland v. Washington. Reviewing and integrating all of the evidence in order to tell the jury a coherent counter-narrative is essential to defending Mr. Kohberger.
Yeah, but what if the judge doesn't allow your third-party suspect? Then there isn't that, and you should have already been prepared for the trial.
Life. 2. Incomplete mitigation investigation. Capital sentencing requires exhaustive life history evidence going back generations, including childhood trauma, mental illness, substance abuse, neuropsychological assessments, family dynamics and environment. Only after a more thorough life history investigation will counsel know the range of experts that will be necessary. The defense has identified red flags for mitigating evidence but needs time to explore them fully. 3. Prosecution discovery failures. The prosecution has not provided a list of exculpatory, impeaching evidence despite massive document dumps. The court refused to compel the prosecution to identify such material. The state's case is circumstantial and alternative perpetrator theories are not fully explored. After Kohberger was identified, law enforcement ceased investigating all other possibilities. 4. Dateline NBC leak and media influence. Dateline's May 9, 2025 special, The Terrible Night on King Road, used leaked, non-public evidence. Sources were allegedly law enforcement or prosecution associated, violating the court's non-dissemination order. A book by James Patterson, The Idaho 4, An American Tragedy, is scheduled for release 2 weeks before jury selection, portraying Kohberger as a guilty incel with unmatched access to law enforcement. This appearance of inside access reinforces the perception that the media's story is more reliable than the one told in court. 5. Lack of expert completion. Experts in mental health, neuropsychology, forensic psychiatry, and trauma cannot be retained or prepared until life history investigations are complete, necessary records are obtained. ABA guidelines require these experts for capital defense. Cognitive deficits, often present as defective links in an action, particularly in stressful circumstances, George Woods cited in motion. 6. Risk of reversal without delay. The motion cites multiple capital case reversals, where inadequate investigation or hurried timelines led to overturned sentences. Lambright v. Shriro, Frierson v. Woodford, Summerlin v. Shriro, and others. A major study found 68% of capital cases eventually reversed due to error. 7. A continuance is reasonable. The motion appeals to Ungar v. Seraphyte 1964. Courts should not use a myopic insistence upon expeditiousness. The defense has met all deadlines to date. The risk of unconstitutional execution outweighs the cost of a modest delay. The constitutional guarantee of a fair trial outweighs modest delay. Citations and authorities. The motion is rich with authoritative references. Over 20 U.S. Supreme Court cases. ABA guidelines for capital defense. Ninth Circuit cases supporting expert requirements and fair trial timelines. Legal and psychological literature on the importance of narrative, mitigation, and bias. Conclusion. The defense argues that August 2025 is far too soon to mount a constitutionally valid capital defense. If denied, any conviction will be vulnerable to reversal due to unfinished discovery and mitigation work, pretrial media bias, incomplete expert involvement, structural unfairness, and a rushed timeline. They request the court to vacate the current trial date and grant a reasonable continuance. Let me know if you'd like a PDF version of this summary.
Yeah, so there you go. There's the breakdown. Let's see. Yeah, this part here. This part is what part that kind of makes me nervous a little bit. Dateline, May 9th, 2025 special. The Terrible Night on King Road used leaked, non-public evidence. Sources were allegedly law enforcement or prosecution associated, violating the court's non-dissemination order. A book by James Patterson, The Idaho 4, An American Tragedy. Wow, James Patterson, huh? Is scheduled for release 2 weeks before jury selection, portraying Kohberger as a guilty incel with unmatched access to law enforcement.
But isn't this sort of normal, though? This stuff that's happening right here? I mean, this is normal. And I'm sure they can go find a jury of people that haven't been paying attention. Or I know people all the time that have never heard of this. Thank you, Sean Ellis, up there for Eileen Blundell, Root Hog or Die, Lala615, Becca Ramirez. They're or the real PC, I guess. There you go. I just think it's funny when people up there, well, the evidence, I haven't seen the trial yet, so I'm not sure yet if it's Kohberger. What in the hell have you been watching? I mean, the thing is, you know, the probable cause by itself was damning as hell. And then these hearings and the rulings that the judge have revealed tons and tons of other information that is so much worse for him. I mean, it is... Brian Kohberger is without a doubt, there is no doubt that he's the killer. Yes, you do have to have a trial, and there'll have to be a jury of people. Now, if the jury is made up of some of these nut jobs who show up in here often, then it's possible there might be a hung jury or some sort of, you know, I mean, I don't know. I think that's the worst case scenario, would be a hung jury. There's just no chance. I mean, this guy... Just, it's wild, you know, it's wild. You get these people and they try to seem, when they come in here, they want you to believe that they are somehow morally superior, that they have the ability to remain objective and just so open to their, what it really says is you're nuts, okay? That's the truth of it. You're not better than everybody. There's nothing outstanding about yourself. You just want to be, I guess it's sort of like, what's that called when, what's that phrase when you're just being counter just for the hell of it? Like what the hell's that phrase? Somebody knows it. What about the green car? Yeah, oh, the contrarian. But what's that term when you say, I'm just trying to be the... God, what the hell's that phrase? Oh, man. Devil's advocate. There you go. Daff M got it. But great. Yeah, they don't know who leaked, but it's the prosecution. I think it might be the FBI, which isn't really, they're sort of a third party. No, devil's advocate was what I was looking for. Somebody who, you know, you're just taking the contrarian view for the hell of it. I should have figured it out on my own when I said for the hell of it. And then devil's advocate. There you go. I almost gave myself a clue, but I didn't pick up on it. All right, so let's just go over the date. Let's see if we can find the dateline part. And what was the other part that you were mentioning, Lisa? About something about, let's see. I thought you said something about alcoholic. I don't see that in here. Oh, there it is. Alcohol. All right, let's see. Records indicating that the client's mother... What case is this one? Is this case? The cyclical investigation is also important because it leads to confirmation from multiple sources, both objective records and corroborating witnesses who can testify, producing a persuasive mitigation case that can withstand adversarial testing. Thus, mitigation investigations develop in stages, as explained in this example. So I don't know if this is I don't know if this is about Kohberger right here. Unless it says his name in here. Let's see. Explain this example. And I think this is like this Richard Dudley thing. I don't think that's regarding... Yeah, I don't think that's for Kohberger. Is there another example? Mental disturbance and fetal alcohol syndrome. Hope he's not going to claim that. Motion to continue. Evidence of early... What is this right here? Records, interviews, and other psychosocial research collected during the mitigation investigation process may reveal the following types of information. May reveal. All of which has been considered mitigate. Okay, so we might find one of these things, and one of these things in the past, or one or more of these, or every one of these things has at one point or another been used as a mitigation and worked. All right, let's do the NBC one. All right. A continuance is also necessary. I don't know how that makes it necessary. It might just take a couple extra days to find a jury, which I doubt that too. A continuance is also necessary to investigate and remedy. So they want to look it up, and then remedy meaning, might lead to taking the death penalty off the table, or some sort of, something being a punishment to the prosecution and a benefit to the defense. Yeah, we know, Cindy. Yeah. Let's see. A continuance is also necessary to investigate and remedy the prejudice of highly inflammatory, publicly released just weeks before the current trial date, including the recent Dateline NBC special and a forthcoming book. Well, a lot of the stuff that was released was like their own doing. They had all these motions that they applied for, and then the results of the motions led to information being put in these documents. Because I think, wouldn't you guys agree that the 911 call, all the stuff that was on there was probably under the gag order, and that the timing of all the surveillance footage was likely in the gag order? All the stuff that's been coming out was once in the gag order, but it was deemed okay to put outside of it because it was in response to various motions that the defense made. Who are you talking about, uniquely, Susie? Yeah. Anyways, let's see. Let me keep going through here. On May 9th, 2025, just weeks before this capital trial is set to begin, Dateline NBC aired a 2-hour episode about this case titled The Terrible Night on King Road. It should have said Kohberger, the whack job killer. Well, it doesn't say that, though. It says The Terrible Night on King Road. And Dateline kind of goes out of its way not to say that the person in the house is Kohberger. The program includes details and materials including video footage, cell phone records, and photographs of documents that are not publicly available through official channels. The show repeatedly emphasizes the non-public nature of this information, stating it was obtained from unnamed sources who are close to the investigation and that the materials were obtained exclusively by Dateline. Much of the investigative material presented by Dateline was taken out of context and will not be admissible at trial because it lacks reliability. Okay, then why do you care? Because they would have already heard it, Gray. It wouldn't have made it to the trial, but now it's out in the public forum. That's what the answer is. But all right, guys, we're still not at the goal yet, so if you're out there and you have the ability to help support the Grant Hughes Investigates YouTube channel, I would appreciate it. Let's see. The show repeatedly emphasizes a non-public nature of this information, stating it was obtained. Yeah, they do say that a lot. Hey, look at that. Cheryl Moran's trying for a wave, everybody.
Let's catch a ocean wave emoji. We truly appreciate
No thanks for what,
your
Olga?
support. Red heart emoji. Freaks.
No thanks for what, Olga? Go ahead. No thanks for what? You got all of her attention. You're so hilarious. What is it, Olga? What is it? Okay. If you say LOL one more time, I'm removing you from the channel permanently. Okay? Go ahead. Do it again. Okay, see you later. You're an idiot. What an idiot. God, what a stupid person. Oh my God. All right. Did you guys see Cheryl Moran's wave attempt up there? Let's get to the goal. There we go. We got Alley Cake. We need about 20 more channel memberships, and then I'll donate my 5. Yeah, trolls are stupid.
Cheryl's ocean wave emoji. Ocean wave emoji. Ocean wave emoji.
Much of the investigative, with quotes, material presented by Dateline was taken out of context. It will not be admissible at trial. Taken out of context. I doubt it. You just don't want it to be. Hey, thanks, Alley Cake and Wonder Woman. Get us out from under. I'm late. Why do they want to delay? Well, multiple things. They haven't had time to effectively prepare for the trial, specifically in a death penalty case where the standard is much greater for all the different elements, so they need more time. And also the NBC leak of information has, they need time to investigate where the leak came in and then try to remedy the situation, meaning to get a benefit. The judge might deny something for the prosecution and there'll be like a argument about it. Like, it's so stupid. I hope there's just nothing. You know, leaks happen all the time in cases. It happened in the Delphi case. Thank you, DAFM. Thanks, KME. And thank you, Sean Ellis, for the 5 memberships up there. Very kind. Very cool. Thank you so much. DAFM. More delay will lead to more. I know, isn't that ridiculous? Like, the longer it takes, there's going to be more information that comes out. I mean, at the rate that Ann Taylor has these motions that she's trying to, you know, put out there, by the time the trial happens, every single known piece of information will be out there. The leaked materials appear carefully curated to promote a narrative of guilt. As this court acknowledged in its May 15th, 2025 document and records hold order, the source of the leak is most likely someone currently or formerly associated with law enforcement or the prosecution team. If that, associated with, that's the FBI. If that is the case, it raises urgent and serious questions about the objectivity, judgment, and credibility of the individuals tasked with investigating. No, it doesn't point to any of that stuff that you're saying. Investigating and presenting the state's evidence, particularly those who may be called as witnesses, the identity of those involved, their motives, and any efforts to conceal their conduct go directly to the heart of witness credibility and the integrity of the state's case. Yeah, I mean, it does cause a problem. I don't agree that. I think the motive is just Dateline has a connection, and maybe there was. I mean, I don't know if there was money exchanged hands or anything like that. Let's see. Hold on, I'm trying to reply to the person that I was communicating with. I let them know that it's popped up on the screen to let them know that the trolls, they usually contact them. It sucks that I even have to do this kind of stuff.
I'm sick by all the defense spaghetti at the wall tricks. This trial needs to stay unscared. What about Maddie, Kayleigh, Anna, and Ethan? Ty Gray, heart exclamation emoji.
Yeah, so remember a minute ago I said that I had a email conversation pop up on the screen, and I let the person know that the trolls, they've believe it or not, you guys, the charities that we give money to, they've tried to contact them. They have contacted them, but all the charities do is they send me the emails that were sent to them regarding, so I get to see like who it was and everything. It's hilarious, so I have these all in a folder. It's pretty incredible. I mean, these people are insane. They try to get a hold of Nick Mac. Do you know who you're working with, man? This Gray guy? Yeah, he's always asking people and telling people, hey, can you please help support the channel? And it's just, blah, blah, blah. And they go, no, we love Gray and his channel. They give us thousands of dollars. That's what they say every single time. We've given Texas EquiSearch over $30,000. You think they're going to give a shit that you're calling in and bitching about somebody? You guys are insane people. All right, but anyways, I have to take my time to get a hold of, when I make a mistake like that on the screen, I have to take my time and let them know, okay, these people are relentless. They're going to get a hold of you. They're going to go, hey, blah, 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 blah. And then I'll make sure that I get the name of anybody who's emailing them again. It's going to be good stuff. Anyways, you probably don't really give a shit about that. I'm just telling you. I'm sick by the defense spaghetti at the wall tricks. This trial needs to stay on. I mean, I'm going to be covering it no matter what or when. I think if the judge does delay it, I think it'd be crazy to delay it though. Like it's. I mean, at this point, it's 3 months from now, basically. The jury selection's in 2 months and a week. But the trial starts, I think, on the 13th or so. So it's almost 3 months from now. I think he might make it, give him like 3 extra months or something. And then it would be like November. And I could definitely see that. So. Zozo said this is longer than some people's marriages. Yeah, that's for damn sure. No, I don't. I mean, I don't blame. Look it. Does anybody in here blame Dateline? You're looking at the wrong people if you're blaming Dateline. If I had a source, I would have given the same damn information out, wouldn't you? That's what we do. We try to get information. That's why when I got the, I wasn't given permission to do the 911 call, the full audio, but I had it. So I didn't put it out there, but I had, I heard it and everything. Yeah, the Dateline has absolutely I have no problem with Dateline at all. And I'm, and in some ways I'm glad they were able to get that information because it's interesting, it's like, wow, we're trying to put the pieces together. Now, whether or not, like people don't want to believe that what Dateline and the defense is trying to, they know people are going to be reading this, so they're trying to put their spin on the information that came out. But I think the information that came out, I mean, how is it out of context? Which part? What does that mean? It's out of context. I don't understand that. I mean, it's like if you're watching that, what's out of context? The part where, I mean, on the original one, when his sister was like, wow, I mean, he's wearing gloves, he's got an Elantra, let's check his car. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe the porn, maybe the online stuff. The apparent leak is not only an egregious violation of the court's non-dissemination order. Now, the prosecution, which wishes Judge John Judge was back in there. Because this guy, Judge Hippler, is much more strict, and he doesn't put up for anything like that. The apparent leak is not only an egregious violation of the court's non-dissemination order, it enabled Dateline to gild rampant speculation with a veneer of credibility when purportedly exclusive information surfaces through a media broadcast shortly before trial, particularly information attributed to unnamed sources with access to the investigation. It carries heightened aura. I know, but isn't that what you do? I mean, the whole thing is, if you're saying it's not real, then who cares if, when you say it was speculation and with the veneer of credibility when purportedly exclusive information surfaces through a media broadcast. But what about all of the YouTubers out there on your side who put out complete garbage on a daily basis? Ooh, the lime green Elantra. Yeah, the lime green Elantra, whose owner lives in the complex of the murders, who on that night, just for some unknown reason, instead of walking near the house, did lap after lap around the house in his own lime green Elantra. Yeah, that guy. Now, what about all those people? I mean, I know it's not official information, but they're selling garbage to the masses. So if this isn't true, what Dateline had, then why do you care so much? Let's see. When purportedly exclusive information surfaces through a media broadcast shortly before trial, particularly information attributed to unnamed sources with access to the investigation, it carries heightened aura of credibility and secrecy that can deeply influence public perception. Right. Meaning the source is, like they're claiming they have inside knowledge. Unlike official disclosure, which are typically accompanied by context and procedural safeguards, leaks framed as exclusive are not perceived as uncensored truths that the public was not meant to see. This insider framing enhances the material's persuasive power, suggesting that it is both authentic and revealing of the case's hidden realities. The episodes includes things such as repeated speculative assertions regarding the assailant's motives, including unfounded allegations of sexual motivation. Unfounded, huh? Yeah, let's see. Dramatic reenactments and animations depicting the alleged crime. Who the hell would do something like that? That bastard. Oh, sorry. Let's see where we're at now on this. For those that are got here later, here we go. Here is the full thing again on the screen. We've got an update on it. Wait for the end. It's pretty creepy. Check it out, Zozo. I didn't take the shine off that one door. And then Xana goes to the kitchen. And I think when she's in the kitchen was when she says, "Hey, somebody's here." And she's doing whatever she's doing in the kitchen. And that's when Dylan opens her door. Because that's the timing. And they're still fighting up there. And Xana's still in the kitchen. And there she is over there looking at the slider. More fighting. And she hears it. She's like, "Hey," and then she goes and looks. Yeah, imagine if Dateline had used this one. That crazy or what? Oh man, that's what I added today. That extra, but that's only like 10 more seconds, and it took almost the whole day. Isn't that ridiculous? So we're only at 1:40 in there. Isn't that wild? So that's Xana, and then this part here. So their story. When they say they timed it, and it was 2 to 4 minutes. Mine's only going to be like 2 something. I think, and maybe there's times where he was sitting around, or we don't know. I'm just doing it like that. But come on, wasn't that super chat worthy, you guys? That's what the super chats are for, is the amazing moments like that. Where does the "I'm here to help you" occur? I think that's the part that's kind of hard to. Here's what I was thinking. After right here, he attacks Xana, and he thinks he kills her, and she's on the ground. Then he goes over and he kills Ethan. And then Xana starts getting up again. He's not really paying attention because he's working on Ethan over there.
Theory: defense sources leaked to Dateline to frame prosecution to ask for more time and shoot down DP.
Nah, I think it's going to be the FBI, Austin. Yeah, so then she stands up, and then he goes, "Hey, it's okay." And she's just totally out of it, like bleeding. And he goes, "Hey, I'm here to help you," And then he attacks her again, and she falls right to the ground. How about something like that? Like she gets up again, and she's in the room, and then he attacks. I mean, just that simple. It could be that simple. That's how I'm going to do it because, I can't really think of any other thing, to be honest. I mean, he could have just been, who's going to chase somebody and say, "I'm here to help you"? Yeah, really? Then why are you chasing me? Yeah, I mean, what I've always said since the beginning is you only say, "I'm here to help you" to somebody who's already injured and they'd already been attacked before you said something to them. Yeah, I mean, it would be great if the defense put out that leak, though, Austin. I mean, it's weird how it's benefiting them so much, but I just think I mean, I was told by, one of my sources that the FBI is the one that leaked it, but maybe it wasn't, I mean, people aren't always right. I mean, I am, but, See, Gray, you always want it. You know what statement I hate the most, you guys? When people say, Gray, you just want to be right. And I say to myself, who the hell doesn't want to be right? I mean, do you get up in the morning and go, man, I'm gonna screw up today as much as I can, and well, I know the Kohbergers do that. Hey, look at that. Oh, did it really, Ivan? But great! Bitcoin hit an all-time high today. I didn't even follow it. Well, thank you.
But
Boom.
Bitcoin hit all-time high
But
today.
great! Bitcoin hit an all-time high today. Very cool. Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Is there a chance he might have said it hoping that Dylan Mortensen... why? Why would he want to have Dylan... What are you talking about? I'm here to help you to Dylan? No. There's no chance at that. I don't even know what the hell that means, Theo Roy. It's completely just doesn't even make sense of any rational form of what was going on in that house. All right, let me get back to this right here. All right, guys, so the episode includes repeated speculative assertions regarding the assailant's motives, including unfounded allegations of sexual motivation. All right, well, just prove that at trial it was unfounded. Dramatic reenactments and animations depicting the alleged crime created by the show's producers without basis in the evidentiary record. All right. I mean, I might end up having to make a different version. But what's kind of... what I could do is just have all these different clips of people doing things, and then at the end I could put them in whatever order I need it to be. Emotional interviews with individuals connected to the alleged victims, accompanied by evocative music, photos, and video designed to elicit strong emotional responses. The broadcast repeatedly bolstered its speculative claims through the use of so-called expert commentary, including individuals identified as law enforcement professionals and academics. These commentators were permitted to make sweeping assertions about the defendant's alleged motives, psychological state, and personal history, none of which are grounded in evidence before the court, while the program repeatedly emphasized their training, research. Well, good. I mean, then who cares? If none of it's grounded in any factual evidence at all, you might have these people that had a perception. You won't pick them on your jury, but just for some reason, if it was in their mind, you can show them, oh, that was totally bogus, and it'll probably flip them completely the other direction. The commentators were permitted to make sweeping assertions about the defendant's alleged motives, psychological state, and personal history, none of which are grounded in evidence before the court, meaning it's true, but it's just not in evidence before the court, while the program repeatedly emphasized their training, research, and years of experience to lend undue credibility to their conjecture. This type of testimony, mimicry, improperly... Are they going to take my video down? Like, when I make this animation, is that something that needs to be taken down because it's, I mean, what's the difference, I guess? Because theirs was based off of information that you say isn't credible? I don't get it. This type of testimony, mimicry, improperly mirrors expert witness testimony. in a trial setting without the safeguard of cross-examination or evidentiary standards, effectively presenting the public with a one-sided, unvetted narrative that shapes jurors' perception before any admissible evidence has been presented. Right. Well, just find the jurors who don't watch Dateline. While the program occasionally inserts disclaimers such as, "We don't know what happened," these brief caveats do little to mitigate the cumulative impact of an extended narrative constructed through selective imagery, emotionally charged reenactments, and detailed speculative descriptions of the crime. When viewers are presented with a cohesive, visually reinforced sequence of events, especially when paired with commentary from individuals styled as experts, the overall presentation fosters a sense of authenticity and truthfulness. Man, it's too bad they didn't put in the 1330 Linda Lane footage too, because that's where they really could have. I mean, the thing is, if you combine the footage from 1112 King Road with the 1330 video, it's just so damning. It's almost unbelievable. You know. Yeah, she's talking to, I think he's talking to Xana. Xana's the only one awake. What do you mean, great point? How's that a great point? It's a question. You guys are crazy, man. What do you guys mean? Is BK replying to Xana saying there's somebody here? What do you mean? Xana said what? I mean, what do you... How did they come back and win that? How did they do that? They were down by like 7 with 40 seconds to go. I didn't even look over there. How did that happen? You got to be kidding me. I actually looked over there, and they were down by like 7 with 40 seconds to go. How did that? They've done that like a million times in the playoffs so far. That's crazy. Oh, how did it even get to overtime? When he said, "I'm here to help," right? He says it to Xana, right? That's what we've always assumed, anyways. Hey, I'm here to help because those are the only people that is alive, and then she got killed right around that time. I have to go watch that highlight. That's crazy. It's okay. I'm here to help you was an answer to. Okay, there's somebody here. Oh, wow. Okay, I see what you're saying. I mean, like, way later. Like, hey, there's somebody here, and then he says, oh, yeah, I'm here to help. Okay, I get what you're saying now. I need to have the whole explanation. It's never, you guys never type in the sentences. Yeah. Let's see. I think why not say... Do you think I'm here to help is in reply to Xana saying, there's somebody here? I actually wonder if my theory was, the other day I was thinking about it, was did she ask a question like, is somebody here? Something like that. Not, hey, somebody's here. Could have just been, is somebody here? You know, because she sees the door open and she's like, is somebody here? And then she hears noises and then she goes upstairs. And then I kind of like that. I kind of like that one. Right. Yeah. I mean, that's what I was. 31 points in 6 minutes. How did they get to overtime? I don't even get it. I mean, I don't even understand how that happened. Did they foul and then New York missed free throws or what? Oh, so it's an overtime now. That's absolutely crazy. There's no way in hell That should have made. I hope the Knicks win. That's just garbage, man. That's amazing. I gotta check that out later. I see what you're saying. That's actually not a bad idea there, Kyle. I just can't. I thought you were talking to Xana. Yeah, it's like yeah, that's who she's talking. You know, he's talking to. But now it does kind of make sense if you think about it. Like she says, "Hey, is somebody here?" Goes upstairs, and then he runs down. He goes, "No, I'm here to help." But he wasn't there to help. And then maybe that kept her quiet. Like, help with what? She might have even been saying, like, help with what? Help with what? Help with what? Yeah. Yeah, because I think I was gonna have at this point right here, right in here, I'd say about right in this time frame. Let's see. Like, hey, is there somebody here? And he hears it up there. He can hear that. Or, you know, either there or maybe she's right here. Like, hey, is there somebody here? And then she goes upstairs and he hears that, but he isn't sure. So he's just kind of, you know, he's not going to come out of the room yet. And he's maybe, you know, have him kind of crouched down over there. And then maybe he's like, right now he's like, hey, I'm here to help. I'm here to help. And then it sounds like one of the people's running down the stairs. And then, you know, then he attacks. Something like that. Kyle, is that what you guys are talking about? Cindy, I'll do the timing. Thanks. Let's see. Hey, they should play the animation at there. They can't play stuff like this at the trial. Right. Yeah. To slow her down. Now that makes sense to slow her down. That's crazy. That's what I was talking about yesterday. You know how you guys don't type in like the full sentences? I have to go back up and try to have it explained. Yes, 2 of you understood it. Not me. Austin Huber and Egg understood it. Maybe one of these days I'll be able to get it. Well, that's what they said, that she was on her phone in the kitchen with TikTok. But either way, I just have it in her hand. Why does it matter, you know? It's just, I don't know if you guys understand how hard it is to make these things. And then if you want to take the phone out and then you put it back in and then somebody has to pick one up. And yeah. Yeah, if we get 5 more memberships, I'll donate 5. No, I don't use. I use 3D Studio Max, but I wish I was proficient at Blender, because Blender's free. You know, I pay $1,900 a year for this thing. So they made 8 3-pointers in a row. Jeez. Yeah, we know. Right. I guess they all took off. I haven't heard from Kyle again or the other people. I wanted to hear what you guys are saying. Austin, Egg kept communicating, but. Thanks, K-Me. Well, and there's Austin Huber. He's still here, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, we need one more. That, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll get back to the article here in a minute. Or the document, whatever the hell it's called. Scores 5 in the third. 5 in the third, wow. That's crazy. 5 goals in a period. I remember when I was a kid, the Winterhawks, they're the farm or the next level down in Portland. They scored 22 goals in a game against the Seattle. I couldn't even, I mean, it didn't even seem like it was hockey. It's like football or something. It was like every time they shot, it went in. All right, we just need one more channel membership. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. Well, I don't know. It just feels like every goal, I don't know. That day he sucked, KB, but it was weird. Oh, it was Kylie, not Kyle. Not sure why I was thinking. Wasn't it? Yeah, Kylie. Yeah, jeez. Well, thanks, Cheryl Moran. And then here we go. Here is the other 5 right now. And then boom. There we go. Cheryl Moran gifted one to Phil. And then Lakey Tor gifted one, and I get the 5, so that's 6 more. Man, it's like nobody's not scoring. Every time down the court, people score, right? And this. All right. Let's keep moving on this part here. So while the program occasionally inserts disclaimers such as "we don't know what happened," these brief caveats do little to mitigate the cumulative impact of an extended narrative constructed through selective imagery, emotionally charged reenactments, and detailed speculative descriptions of the crime. When viewers are presented with a cohesive, visually reinforced sequence of events, especially when paired with commentary from individuals styled as experts, the overall presentation fosters a sense of authenticity and truthfulness that is difficult for viewers to disregard. An occasional passing verbal disclaimer functions more as a legal formality than a meaningful check on prejudicial perception, and most viewers will leave with an impression that they have seen a reliable reconstruction of events. Right. Well, I mean, it's almost like they're not denying their guy was there. They just aren't sure. They're trying to let us know that it's not quite. That's not how it went inside the house. Hold on. Where am I at? There it is. See, there isn't really 700 people watching right now. There's really about, I don't even really know, but it could be 500, maybe 400. It's got that weird Bart Simpson haircut look again. The Dateline special, which aired just weeks before the trial, will not even be the last pretrial media bombshell. Best-selling crime author James Patterson has written a book about the murders titled, I think I might have to get that one, The Idaho 4, An American Tragedy, scheduled for release on July 14th, 2025, just 16 days before jury selection is, where is that? Is slated to begin. Amazon, Idaho 4 Tragedy, last visited March 16th, 2025. Idaho 4 American Tragedy. The blurb for the book describes Mr. Kohberger as a... Let's go look at it. Right there. So there it is. The murders of 4 innocent college students attending the University of Idaho left us with so many questions. Now, after more than 300 interviews, James Patterson and prize-winning journalist Vicky Ward finally have some answers. Dun 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 dun. We know what it was like to live in Moscow, Idaho, on November 13th, 2022, the day of the cold-blooded killings. We know what the local police and FBI did right and what they did wrong. We learned so much about the 4 heartbroken families, the Mogans, Gonzalezes, Kernodles, and Chapins. And we have the backstory for Brian Kohberger, brilliant grad student, loner, apparent incel, now indicted and facing trial. Now you are the jury. The evidence is in. Okay. All right. Yeah, well, there you go. By the way, is he really an incel? I mean, I thought he was, but then why did he turn down Miss Ko? You know, she was interested in him. She was okay with his weirdness. And he didn't do it. And it feels like that doesn't make him, it makes him voluntarily. I think it makes him a Vissel. I don't know. Yeah, maybe he's picky. I don't know, but she's making the book even more popular by mentioning. Yeah, I know. I didn't know it existed either. Hell, I'm gonna go watch it. I go get it. I'm gonna go get a book on tape.
She's making this book even more popular by mentioning it here because I didn't know this book existed until now, and now I'm interested. Great job at.
Yeah. All right, 20 seconds to go, and oh man, did he get fouled too? Indiana just got up by 3 by dunking a ball with 15 seconds left. So now what's going to happen is they're going to give the ball to what's his face, and he's going to shoot a 3 and hope he makes it. Oh, you picked Indiana to win this? God, man. I have no idea how it got into overtime, man. I looked at the screen, there was 30 seconds to go, and they were up 7, the Knicks. How does that even happen? And then I never looked back again. It's difficult for a family to deal with. I'm a nurse, not a... Oh, you at the beginning of the show, CMB? Let's see, 100 super chat coming. Oh, really? Come on. Yeah, do a coffee instead, Victor. That's okay. Well, I haven't seen 100 on there. If they win, you mean? All right, we'll see. Let's see what happens. Brunson is going to shoot a 3. So I'm rooting for the Indiana, right? All right. Let's see. Yeah, that's an NBA playoff game between Indiana and the Knicks. And I don't know how the Knicks blew this game. They're up 7 with 30 seconds. I never even watched again. Now it's in overtime, and they're going to inbound the ball. And they give it to Brunson, just like I thought. And he's going to shoot a 3. And airballs it. Oh, wait, but they got the rebound. What a just absolute everybody was falling all over the place. And so what happened then? I mean, like all air balls. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, you even got we got some NBA here. Well, whose ball is it? Is it Indiana's ball right now, or it must be? That was ridiculous. You guys, anybody watch that at all? Just oh yeah. Wait, does it hit the guy that's out of bounds though? No, no. So that's game. That's the game because it's Indiana's ball with 0.2 seconds to go. Man, Reggie Miller's probably just freaking out. That's an unreal win. They've done a bunch of wins like that. They even beat us in Portland right near the end of the year when we were playing really good. That guy made the game winner at the buzzer just like that, like he's done all the time. Now, anyways, let's move back to this. All right, so he goes, now you're the jury. The evidence is in. The publisher boasts of unmatched access to the investigation, including interviews with local law enforcement. This suggests that the apparent dateline leak was... Oh! Oh, there you go, Ivan. Well, thank you. Wow, that's very cool, man. Thanks, Ivan. Jeez. Very cool. Thanks for letting me have some of the winnings. Ivan must be a pretty lucky dude. Let's see. Or is it really luck? You know, that's the thing. Now look at that. Tammy Lin is in Taiwan. The blurb for the book describes Mr. Kohberger as a brilliant grad student, loner, apparent incel, and explicitly tells the reader, now you are the jury. Then they talked about they access to local law enforcement. This suggests that the apparent dateline leak was not the only violation of this court non-dissemination order. The 6th and 14th Amendments guarantee the right to a fair trial by an impartial jury. A continuance is necessary to fully investigate the leaks and to mitigate the prejudicial effects of such inflammatory pretrial publicity occurring so close to the current trial date. The Supreme Court held that a defendant was denied a fair trial due to a massive, pervasive, and prejudicial publicity that the trial court failed to mitigate. The court emphasized this in Shepard versus Maxwell. The court emphasized the trial judge's responsibility to ensure that the defendant receives a fair trial free from the influence of prejudicial media coverage. The court explicitly noted that a continuance may be required to protect the defendant's right, but where there is a reasonable likelihood that prejudicial news prior to trial will prevent a fair trial, the judge should continue the case until the threat abates or Well, how do you, unring a bell, I guess? What are they talking about? Or transfer it to another county not so permeated with publicity. The Supreme Court has likewise recognized that the passage, I think you'd have to move it to another state, maybe something like, Appalachia somewhere. Just, somebody that's not, everybody doesn't watch Dateline. I don't even know what the, I guess we could say, what was the name of that episode? Like, what were the TV ratings of Dateline's episode? The killings on, what is it? Is that what it was? The killings on King Road? Or what was the name of that last one? I guess it says it in here, doesn't it? The Terrible Night. The other one was the killings. Doesn't have the rating.
I want to see the dancing taco emoji.
Well, there it is. There it is. Anyways, thanks up there, Ivan, again. And thanks to Royal Psy. Where are we at here? We're right there. The Supreme Court has likewise recognized that the passage of time can significantly reduce the taint of media exposure, holding in Patton versus Yount that even in a case involving extensive coverage of a confession, the delay between media saturation and trial reduced its prejudicial impact. The news value of original disclosures was diminished, and the newspaper items were often relegated to the inner pages. The court has recognized that while pretrial publicity, even pervasive adverse publicity, does not inevitably lead to an unfair trial, the trial judge has a major responsibility. The measures a judge takes or fails to take to mitigate the effects of pretrial publicity may well determine whether the defendant receives a trial consistent with the requirements of due process. The timing of the trial is a key factor in ensuring jury impartiality, as emotional intensity and memory of prejudicial material tend to fade over time. Social science research supports this position. Yeah. Let's see. In sum, the 2-hour Dateline episode is uniquely prejudicial in both tone and content. It constructs a speculative narrative around motive and guilt, features emotionally manipulative production elements, and amplifies unsupported theories through self-styled expert commentary, all timed to air just weeks before trial, when juror impressions are most vulnerable and voir dire least equipped to neutralize such deep-seated bias. Just find people who've never even heard of it. The forthcoming book by James Patterson, which will arrive in the hands of potential jurors just 2 weeks before voir dire begins, promises to set off a new round of inflammatory negative coverage and to deepen the pervasive bias against Mr. Kohberger on the eve of trial. The court has already acknowledged that the dateline special exposes a likely violation of the non-dissemination order, and Mr. Patterson's reported unmatched access to sources, including a local law enforcement, suggests multiple unauthorized disclosures have occurred. Depending on the results of the investigation into the leaks, a continuance may be adequate once the sources of the leaks are identified and the full extent of misconduct revealed. The violations would warrant remedies more serious than delay. Right, so they want to figure out where it came from and then get some sort of like remedy. You should put quotes around that. Is like, take the death penalty off the table, adding in a bunch of different, like taking away pieces of evidence, perhaps. I mean, I don't know how you do that. I mean, it just, I don't know. I'm not sure how this judge is going to rule. I mean, he's a pretty strict guy, so. I mean, what if their remedy is to allow a third-party suspect? You can't do that, though. I mean, you got to allow it on its merits. If there's no nexus, for example, the third-party suspect, if you say, well, there's this guy who lives there who has a lime green Elantra, but the problem is Kohberger, what nexus to the crime does the guy driving the lime green Elantra have? And if you can't find anything, then there isn't. There isn't anything. I mean, I don't think there's going to be a third-party suspect. So they're not going to be allowed that. And then, so here's the thing. The judge is, not going to allow a third-party suspect. He's going to do this and that and this and that. All these different things aren't allowed. And then all of a sudden, now you've got this leak. And that might be sort of like the golden ticket. I think the death penalty wouldn't be taken off the table. I think the option that if the judge is going to do something is to delay the damn trial again. Right? He's not going to take the death penalty off the table because Brian Kohberger, who I believe is a killer, deserves the death penalty. If you don't think he killed him, you can go ahead and believe whatever the hell you want. So I don't think he would do that. His remedy would be, they want the remedy outside of, what they said was they wanted it on top of that. So they said, depending on the results of the investigation into the leaks, a continuance may be adequate. And then once the sources of the leaks are identified and the full extent of misconduct revealed, the violations would warrant remedies more serious than delay. So more than just the continuance. They want something else. So what would that be? So if I was a judge, I'd say, well, I'm not going to give you the delay. Or I guess you'd have to say, I don't think it's serious enough. I'm going to give you a delay, but I'm not going to give you any other remedy situations. Like nothing else. I mean, what about you guys? If they took the death penalty off the table but would start the trial, I think it needs to have a trial with the death penalty on the table in this case. Like, I would trade waiting to keep that on the table. I'm sure the family would too. But Gray, he's just got OCD and he's autistic. Right. Okay. The missus and the 5-year-old. Yeah. Excuses. So the defense did leak the info. I mean, the way this reads, it's almost like, oh, and it'd be interesting. Well, I don't think so, because it would lead back to them. Like the investigation would lead back to them, so that'd be really stupid on their part. The defense leaked the information in the Delphi case, but that doesn't make sense in this one. They were trying to even the playing field. This one made their client look worse. So they made him look worse to then try to get extra time and, maybe get the death penalty taken off the table. I mean, I guess I could see that angle. At the very least, however, a continuance is essential. Okay, so that's it. So they do give the judge the out there. And it says, at the very least, however, a continuance is essential to allow the extremely prejudicial impact to partially subside and to give the court and the defense time to fully investigate and address the scope of the violations. Only then can the conditions necessary for selecting an impartial jury and ensuring a fair trial under the 6th and 14th Amendment be meaningfully restored. Reversal is more likely than not in any case resulting in a death sentence. Statistically, almost 2/3 of death penalty cases are eventually overturned due to errors, often many years or even decades after the initial conviction. A frequent cause is reversal on ineffective grounds due to the lack of an exhaustive investigation and complete presentation to the sentencer. Hundreds of cases could serve as examples, and they give some examples. Failure to fully investigate Wiggins' background and present mitigating evidence. All right, in the death penalty phase, not the guilt phase. The sentencing. Mr. Kohberger deserves a fair trial from the outset to prevent an arbitrary or wrongful conviction. Let's see. And potential death sentence. These cases underscore the critical importance of thorough investigation before trial. The diligence is essential to avoid the costly and time-consuming process of preserving a conviction, or process of reversing a conviction and death sentence years or even decades later. A continuance is reasonable and necessary under the circumstances. So this is her final. While there is no mechanical test for determining whether a continuance should be granted, a trial court cannot deny a continuance based on a myopic insistence upon expeditiousness in the face of justifiable requests for delay. In determining whether denial of continuance request resulted in a violation of due process, the reviewing court looks to the circumstances of the case, particularly the reasons presented to the trial judge at the time of the request. The request is not made lightly. Defense counsel has worked around the clock, bullcrap, actively preparing for trial since appointed to this case, absolute garbage. Filed all motions in a timely manner, complied with expert disclosure deadlines, and had expected to proceed on schedule. Oh, okay, so you're ready to go. However, it has become clear that without additional time, the defense cannot, well, you have 2 more months, cannot complete review of the necessary discovery. What do you mean? You were ready to go, but now there's no more discovery? What discovery? What are you talking about? That's true, Millennial, isn't it? Austin Huber said, next she'll want the trial moved to Mars. And then they'll play the Rocket Man song. Let's see, while prompt administration of justice is important, let's see, however, it's become clear that without additional time, the defense cannot complete review of the necessary discovery, meaningfully respond to all the state's amended expert disclosures, and incorporate the information into an effective defense and finish critical sentencing phase investigations. While prompt administration of justice is important to both the state and Mr. Kohberger, the constitutional guarantee of a fair trial outweighs modest delay. And when you say modest delay, what does that mean? And become the majority of, and because the majority of cases ending in the death penalty are later overturned for error, the public interest lies in ensuring a fair trial in the first instance. A continuance will ensure that Mr. Kohberger's fundamental constitutional rights are honored and that any verdict rendered rests on a fair and complete presentation of the facts, not on forced haste. Oh, there you go. I don't know. What do you think? I think it's possible that the judge will delay the trial, but that will be the only thing that they're going to get. I don't want him to, but I can see that as a possibility, as a remedy for the leak, which I don't blame Dateline whatsoever, but whoever leaked it to Dateline, that's not good. But I don't know. I don't want it to be. I'm kind of ready to do the trial, even though it's not even coming up anytime soon. But hey, what do you think? What about tonight, you guys? If we donate some money to that other charity that's out there, this one, the Made with Kindness. This one's for Kaylee, Xana, and Maddie. What do you guys think? Should we do it? Well, here we go. Oh, that's a lady that was just on. That's the friend of her daughter's. Was like best friends with Maddie. All right, here we go. Now, I might have to. Let's see. Hold on a second. I don't know if they have. There we go. Here we go. All right. Why doesn't it do anything? Hold on. Where's the num? Is that the num lock button? There we go. How about that, huh? You know, that's what the bulk effect over time. So let's see. I guess I can put that in there. Okay, I gotta put like stuff over here, so hold on. My phone number and stuff. My email's already out there. Alright, I gotta do my card here, so hold on. And, you know, if you guys want to help support the channel to, you know, offset it a little bit, that'd be great. Oh, well, look at that. There's Cheryl Moran. Didn't have to say anything. She was right there. have to fill it out on. I have to put my address and all kinds of stuff over here.
With kindness, heart suit emoji, freaks.
Well, thank you. Yeah. They have you fill out a lot of stuff. Alright. Is everything in there? Alright, here we go. See what happens. I said the number was... That's right. What are you talking about? Is this, yeah. Hey, thanks Janelle H. and Curly Lock Diva and Cheryl Moran. Yeah, that's weird. It says doesn't like my CVC number. I have to try a different one. The CVC number isn't working on there. It's kind of odd. Like what? I've never seen that error on any, like in my life. So I gotta do a different one. Alright, let's try that one. Alright, that one worked. Not sure what the deal is with the CVC number. It's kind of a weird thing not to work. Everything else was accurate, but that was the right number, so. Alright, let's see. Well, there you go. This is the screen that just popped up. Right there. There we go, everybody. It says, thank you for your donation. Payment to the MWK Foundation will appear on your statement. 1,000. Boom. There we go. Well, thanks, freaks. You know, you guys are what allow my channel to be able to do that. It's pretty amazing. You know, they might have a hearing. Well, we're going to get to see a lot of stuff because the judge is going to have to respond to that, and then, you know, I bet the judge has already contemplated this stuff and hopefully has a quick reply. Let me see if they've sent me an email yet. Let's see. Let's see. I guess I don't know if it sends it out, but I do have that other page. So let me just screen grab that, just so I have it. Doesn't have a date on it. But all right. Made with kindness, right? Is that the name of it? right, there we go. I just got another email from that same, and then somebody thought it would be awesome if they sent me an email regarding, there's like this whole troll place out there that makes videos and shit about me all the time, and it's just, I mean, I've never seen a bunch of people that are they're like stalkers, like their life. They get up in the morning, they have their cup of coffee, and they see, what did Gray say today that we can make a video on and make him look as bad as possible. Like I just am the way I am, right? I mean, so it's easy to find clips and shit that you can put out there and go, look how mean Gray is. Like when you have somebody in the chat that says something, that I don't even know this person, and I'll say something back. They say, look how mean Gray is to his subs. It's like, well, I don't even know this person, And then, even if they are a sub, does that give you the right? Like, we had this one lady that was in here. She donated quite a bit of money and all this stuff, and then she just started being really rude to the moderators and trashing them all over the place. And, I'm not going to put up for it or put up with it, so I just, I say, well, get the hell out of here. I mean, donating money doesn't give you the right to do that. You know what I'm saying? It's weird. Yeah. It's crazy. One of them is out there, and I'm the only person they make videos about. However, the name of their channel implies that there's other people. It's amazing. But anyways, it just is the way it is. And if you're one of the suckers that believe in those people, then that is what it is. I cannot force somebody not to believe these idiots. But at the same time, you can see that's like right there. My channel has an income that it makes, but I also give away a lot of the money that comes in to the channel. And like right there, we wouldn't be able to do $1,000 if we weren't getting ad revenue and super chats, etc., etc., etc. I'm not a charity intake company. I'm just a YouTube channel who gives away a large portion of the income that's brought in, and I try to bring in income on the channel. I actually ask people to send in super chats and so forth on a nightly basis, because that's the only way that I can make that happen. All right? So I don't know. Yeah, I do deserve more views. It's just I can't make something different than it is. Right? So my channel, so let's update it right now while we're sitting here. Here it is. Now we can make this. This number now is $244,979 since January of 2020. All right. This year now we are at, ever moving forward, 16,030, which isn't bad. The first month was horrendous, so the rest of the months have just been trying to catch up to that one. Because like if I bring in $6,000 or $7,000 total in a month, I can't donate a nickel. That's the problem. It's there's a certain point where it's like, I've got all these bills related to what I do and work, etc., etc., etc. Yeah, the guilters. The guilters. I guess they don't have their little caves right now. They must be being washed. Look at them. Benny will not leave this guy alone, man. It's crazy. There's one thing. The clown, the twin. There's a twin? Oh, the twin and the green Elantra are garbage. Right. Yeah, it's... saw that total on a post and had a good laugh. What total? Oh, saw that today on a post. What What are you referring to, Jenna? I don't know what you were talking about. Anyways, I hope you guys stay around and don't mind supporting my channel. It is what it is. I am me. I'm here every single night. You guys know my name. I don't try to hide. I'm here all the time. I do exactly what I say I'm going to do. Every single time. I put out factual information. I think I'm one of the few channels that actually deserves support from people. Okay? I literally do this the right way. And I can't stand when people, I mean, my thing, like today I put shocking, in that video, I just put that in the title. It didn't help at all. I thought, ooh, let me put shocking animation. Well, it is kind of shocking, but I don't usually use terms like that, but whatever words I use, they don't work. Because, some videos I put out there get like 7,000 views, and they're way, way better than any of the stuff that some of these other people put out. And it's factually better, like literally better. Like if you were, it's not an opinion. It's like literally is better. I don't know why they don't get seen. When did that happen, Darren? Do you use ChatGPT to market? No. You're the only channel I have seen that does animations. Yeah, I mean, I do animations, but I also, when I go over the information, I do it in a logical way that makes sense. I think I analyze the cases better than most people. I mean, I watch them and I just go, what are you talking about? Like they don't have it correct in their minds. It's not an opinion. It's literally a fact. When there's something that's true. But anyways, I hope you don't watch too many of those, Cheryl. Yeah, I think this is pretty good here. I don't know what, I don't know exactly. Nobody knows exactly what happened. Even the investigators. The only one that knows is Kohberger. Okay? He's the only one that knows. I'm just doing sort of like, this is like probably how it was in the house. Xana's moving around freely, and Dylan, and then there's a killer killing Madison and Kaylee. What exactly these were doing, I don't know. Like people go, Gray, why do you have the cell phone in her hand? I mean, who cares? I'm just doing a sort of, a reenactment. Just the cell phone doesn't even play a part of what I'm doing. It's just in her hand. I like the lighting effect that it has. See, like it's cool. See the lighting, how it lights up a little bit, and even on the wall when they walk by, right there. See that? Kind of cool. Goes in right there. That's why I have the cell phone. Plus, apparently she was on TikTok right around that time. So maybe it was in her hand. Maybe it wasn't. Then you say, well, why wouldn't she call 911 when he was chasing her? Well, she's probably thinking, who is this guy? Just like everybody else, they didn't call 911. Yeah, so if you haven't seen it, this is the newer portion here. I actually changed. Does this still make sense watching it? This part, because I moved where Dylan was, because Dylan did come out of her room after Xana said, is there somebody here to help? Oh, good. Here we go. So then Dylan looks out. Or not, somebody's here to help. She said, is there somebody here? She looks out. And then, so Xana's still in the kitchen right now. And she kind of looks out. Maybe I could make that a little longer while she's standing there. Here, let me add to that a little bit. I gotta do something else here in a second. I just wanted to Yes, right there, that little short thing there. Seems like that could be longer. Is that a still frame or? No. Alright, I'm just gonna slide it over there. Maybe on that one I wasn't really going to work on this, but I'm just going to... Once I see something, I got to go do it. Just do a little movement on that, just to... Alright, so here's how it goes. And there's the sliding glass door. Then back to the kitchen. Oh, and then she hears fighting and stuff. And she starts saying, hey, is there somebody here? And then she goes up the stairs, and that's when Dylan looks out. Like, wait, so which one? When did I? No, she says it. When did she say that? Hold on. Is there somebody here? So now I got to go back. Oh, yeah, I think she says it in the kitchen. I guess she could say it at any time. That's the part. Like, right in here, she says, anybody here? And then Dylan hears that. Well, hold on. It was before that, right? So, like, when she first got to the... There it is. Let's see. So, right in this time frame, she's like, hey, is there somebody here? I think I might have to move that again. I think I'm going to move it to... right... Hope you guys don't mind. Now I gotta switch that again, I think. I think she says there's somebody here as she's almost like, hey, is there somebody here? Like right around in this time frame. I don't know. I think I have it right. Anyways, let's just watch the new part for the people watching. And then he goes up the stairs. No, she didn't what? And she looks in that room. Sees him in there. And then she backs up and then it's like, oh, I'm going to get out of here. Goes down the stairs kind of quick. Then here he comes. Then there they are both together. And then he's like following after with his K-bar. Runs. There she's running across. And then here he comes, and then around the corner, and then, and then some more fighting is going to happen. And by the way, this is only 1:41 right here. So just when you watch this, doesn't it feel like this is almost how the timing could be? Like, it doesn't seem extraordinarily fast, does it? I mean, look, just sort of look at it like this. Like, here he is. He comes in. So he starts. Let's see when he gets to the room. And I'll tell you that, let's get the timing here. So that's probably exactly, probably 20 seconds is at the most to get to that room. So right now, it's 23 seconds into the video. And there's fighting going on in here. And then here's where Xana heads to the kitchen. And then when she comes in here, she may have said, hey, that looks like there's somebody here. Or was that one? Yeah, that's right. There's probably got to be more time for Dylan actually to get up. And so look, we're almost at a minute now up in that room. So he easily could have killed both of them in this time, right? Like right now. He's already done. And then she comes up the stairs, and right now is 1 minute right now he's been in that room. And backs up. That's pretty nutty. So I think it's going to be like 2 minutes and I don't know. I mean, it just kind of depends. Like I could make the darkness longer, like when it fades to black for a second. I think Dylan Mortensen pretty much heard almost everything that was going on, but wasn't sure what it meant. Because there was no screaming or anything. It was just, like sounds happening. But hey, sure, I was going to ask you how you're feeling. I mean, after, when my dog Blue died, that was the first time that I've ever felt that bad when one of my dogs died. I've had other dogs die where I felt bad, like you kind of miss them and you feel bad for them. But like when Blue died, it felt like it was like a, like not quite like it was like when my brother died, but it felt shitty. Like made me sad for. I still think of them. Yeah. Yeah, the sound she heard that. I was just watching a video a couple days ago, or today even. It popped up, and there's Blue and Chloe in the background. Yeah. Sucks. Well, thanks, Custard Napkin. So I think what I have now is just a battle, probably another 10-second battle with Xana, like maybe more, 10 or 15 seconds. And I think Ethan was just so passed out that he wasn't hearing it. She wasn't screaming or anything. So it's just kind of like a battle, and he's not waking up. And then he knocks her. Then he thinks he's killed her, and she drops to the ground. And then he attacks Ethan, one swift blow to the neck, and then I think at that point maybe Xana started to try to get up again. Although I like the thing that you guys said earlier. I might have to incorporate that. And maybe it's just worded differently. We don't know that what Dylan heard is exactly the phrasing. So it could easily be what Kylie was talking about earlier. Something like, is there somebody here? It isn't, somebody's here, a statement, it's a question. Is somebody here? Because that's how I would do it. Wouldn't you? You would know somebody's here. You would just want to know if somebody's here, so you might ask the question. is somebody here? And then if after then she goes upstairs, and then the guy's chasing and says, "Hey, I'm here to help, because I'm the person that was here that you were talking about." So I sort of like that one. I might have to throw that in there.
Animation is looking great.
Oh, cool.
I love the lighting you did on her phone in the low light environment. Really puts you there.
Yeah, I was thinking it was kind of hard to get that to work, because you have to. Let me show you what that looks like. I mean, so right there's her phone, and there's the light that's on. I mean, this is this isn't the best one to do an example on, but see how I have the light just sort of off of the phone there, and then see the blue circle here? That's the extent that's when it starts dissipating the light. So this light here, that's the red light. It's much longer, and then it starts getting darker as we go into the background. And that's actually a light in the room. It's another blue light. This is the red light right here. And then there should be another blue light right over here in that corner. That's where the good vibe sign that I never put up is. I learned on Maya at the Art Institute, but I don't use it. It's like totally different. So I just kind of learned on 3D Studio Max was similar to this other program in like 2000 that I was using. Well, thanks, Theoroy.
Won't stop me from donating. You're great.
Well, that's what their whole goal is. You know what's funny about these trolls is they don't want anybody supporting my channel anymore. And it's as if they think that the $244,000 that we've given out would somehow magically have shown up if I didn't exist. And it just wouldn't. Like, people are supporting my channel, and then as a whole, I take portion of the income and do it. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just really strange mentality. They want to hurt the organizations that we support because there would not be the counter support. Are they going to then come up with the same funds every month to give these people? And the answer is no. So they're just really sick individuals. They just don't get it. And you know what they always leave out when they make the videos and everything? They leave out that we've given $244,000. It never shows up in any of them. That's what it takes. I thought the DoorDash bag was found on the kitchen counter. Yeah, well, I put the bag in the kitchen counter. Dallas fan, did you miss that part? Or yeah, she put that in there. Must have missed it in the video. See, that's right there. And look, it even has the Xana tag on the bag. Okay, you must have missed that though, huh? Yeah. That's what I figured. Yeah, so she's walking with the bag. They always think they're so clever, the trolls, when they come in, But it never works in their favor. Yeah, so here's Xana. There she is. She's walking with the DoorDash bag in her hand, bringing it back to the kitchen. And walks with it, goes into the kitchen, looks out the slider. Yeah, she's still in the kitchen right now. Kind of looking out that slider. Hey, is there anybody here? But that's where I think, is anybody here? Right after that shot right there is where, is anybody here? That's when we should put Dylan in, don't you guys think? Doesn't that work better right there? And then she's not moving yet, so it's not weird or anything. Let me do that. So from there, to there. Yeah, it's just so tedious. See, it just needs to be right there. Oops. Ah, jeez. Ah, gee, I don't even know what the hell's going on right now. Redo. Okay, moved it. Gotta grab that little clip. Control X, Control V, slide that over, and put that over here. Okay. And then this goes back over. All right, let's see. Let's go back to here-ish. It's coming up the stairs. Walks differently there, but I don't have a better one to use. Is anybody here? Or maybe she says, is anybody here? Like right at the beginning, right here. Is anybody here? And maybe she's already kind of hearing noises. I mean, I gotta almost have to, almost need to put another darkness right there. So just move that over a little bit. Is that the dark? Yeah, so it sort of gives the time for her to stand up a little bit. Like she's... Actually, I can just make that longer. Let me put the video transition. Dip to black. That didn't look good. All right, let's see. Yes, that's better, right? It gives her a little bit of time to get to the door. Oh, that was kind of a weird, just a door by itself. I think I need to put that one shot. It's kind of out of sequence. The one shot of the door, that one. Like what's that doing there? Ew. Alright. Well, let's see. So that would... Yeah, I don't know, like what's this, I remember when I had that. It's like right when she comes in and looks over there. Oh yeah, didn't I just extend that out a little bit? Let me see. Yeah. There we go. Hey, thanks, Lanky Tor. Alright. I'm just gonna play it one last time and then I'll move on. Gonna do something else.
Blue heart emoji.
Yeah, that's right, Lanky Tor. Love you, Gray and Chris. Love you too. And we miss your pets. Miss our pets, yep. That Lily, Rocky, Petro, Blue. Here comes Anna out of her room. Comes into the kitchen. Looks over. She probably said, "Is somebody here?" And she's like, she heard something and she's gonna go check it out. He's kind of kneeling down over there. Whatever he was doing, I think he's putting that knife sheath. Ah, crazy, huh? It starts getting quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker. So it's like a minute 43, that whole thing. Yeah, no, but you wouldn't see her, you know. I mean, my thing is, like, Xana's probably way over, you know, she's over here somewhere. You know, maybe just Dylan just heard the sound and didn't see her in there. I don't know. She could have said it when she's walking up the stairs, too. Hey, there's somebody here. We could try that, you know. And maybe I'll just try to edit it. Like, when she's walking up the stairs, right here, she's like, hey, somebody here? Then Dylan comes out, but then it's kind of like I have to continue her walk. She'd be somewhere else in the time that Dylan went to the door and looked out. So I'm trying to do this where there's sort of time where Xana could be standing around when you show Dylan, right? Because there's other people are moving around when Dylan comes out in the earlier portions. See what I'm saying? Well, that was a nice thing to say. I'm truly grateful I found this channel. I can make disappeared off the screen. Let's see. Gray and all of you. Yeah, well, that's so cool. Yeah, like everybody gets along well. You know, we don't like the trolls when they come in, but could have been kicking. Oh yeah, well, cool, Time Lender. I don't think you'll ever admit it, let alone talk details. Yeah, I don't think she said there's somebody here. I mean, I guess she could have said it when she... I mean, what we've always thought was she said, hey, there's somebody here right up in this level. And I guess when she backs up right here, I could cut away. I mean, you know, like right there. Like cut away, but then it's like, okay, so that whole time Dylan went to the door to look out, they're all just standing in the same place for like 4 seconds. I don't know. And then after Dylan, you show her take off like that. Yeah, she opened the door 3 times. I'm not there yet, Jenna. I think she opens up one where she heard... The first time, though, is somebody's here. And the second time, I think, was when she heard what she thought was crying. And then another time... I don't know. I have to go open it up. We could take a look really quick. Hold on. I know exactly where it is. Got it right here. Why? Who thought it was Kaylee? What do you mean? I mean, why? What do you mean? Maybe that's why. What was the reason she thought it was Kaylee? Because it came from upstairs, right? I think it was above that. It's right here. Stated she awoken approximately 4 a.m. by what she stated sounded like Gonzalez playing with their dog. So what I could do is put Kaylee on her bed and sort of look up a little bit. Like she's just sort of sitting in her bed, and then she kind of looks up a little bit. In the upstairs bedroom, and that could take up another 2 seconds or something. Upstairs bedroom, which were located on the 3rd floor. A short time later, Dylan Mortensen said she heard what she thought was Gonzalez saying something to the effect, "There's someone here." Oh, maybe because she was upstairs. Is that what you're saying? And that's why she thought it was Gonzalez, because it was said while upstairs, but it was actually Xana. Interesting. I think I'm going to do that. I think I might edit it to, you know, like on her way up the stairs, or like, I don't know. The thing is, it's like, what do you do? Have them pause? I guess it's just what it is, right? I mean, I guess you can't make everything perfect. I mean, we could do it right now, but let's try to do it after this. A review of records obtained from forensic download of Kernodle's phone showed that this could have also been Kernodle, as her cellular phone indicated she was likely awake and using the TikTok app. Now, somebody on my show said that was... Somebody said it was that Xana, and underneath the video that that Dylan said that the person running down the stairs was Kaylee. That's just not what she said at all. We don't know what she said. I mean, that's never come out. I mean, I guess it might have come out, but she doesn't know who it was. She just heard the steps. Dylan Mortensen stated she looked out of her bedroom but did not see anything when she heard the comment about someone being in the house. So she looked out. Dylan Mortensen stated she opened her door a second time when she heard what she thought was crying coming from Kernodle's room. So upstairs, Xana said, "Hey, there's somebody here," and is chased, and now there's crying coming from Kernodle's room. And so right after where I'm now in the video, that's the second time that she looks out, right? So right here, you know, we're right in this spot. And then just after this, you know what I think? I think he like really severely wounds Xana, and then he kills Ethan, and Xana's even aware that he killed Ethan. And that's why there's a little crying sound going on, but she's just barely, you know, just hanging in there. And she tries to get up and stuff, and then he goes, "Hey, or, you know, I don't know." Maybe it's okay. I'm here to help you. I mean, what timing does that have on here? Does it? Yeah, she heard crying. Stated that she opened her door a second time when she heard what she thought was crying from Kernodle's room. Dylan Mortensen then said she heard a male voice say something to the effect. See, this is what I'm saying. We can't do it that way. Just if she's crying, she's already heard. I guess it's still, you know, maybe he is responding. What do you mean I rush things? What the hell are you talking about? No, I don't rush anything, okay? Let me just do it the way I want to do it, okay? You can go make your own video, Crimes in Time. All right? I know you're here probably trying to push your name or something. Maybe you got a channel or something. I just don't really, I'm not interested in your comments, okay? So I'm going to have to get rid of you, all right? Nobody knows what that means. You rush things. What the hell are you talking about? How about you rush your brain? Quit drinking, all right? Sound like a lunatic. Have a good one. Get the hell out of here. Were you there? What a lunatic. I went from timing you out to blocking you. I doubt Ethan even woke up. Yeah. And then so something to the effect of, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." So it's okay, I'm going to help you. Not I'm here to help. It's okay, I'm going to help you. So that's not what I didn't say what the correct verbiage. So now it's not even replying. It's okay, I'm going to help you. That's totally different than it's okay, I'm here to help. That's totally different. It's okay, I'm going to help you. So she's crying. I mean, hell, is it possible he stabbed her as she was still running down the stairs and she's already injured? And there's a blood trail going down the stairs, and then he says, it's okay, I'm going to help you. Like that. And she's already been wounded by him and she's running. Something like that. And then approximately 4:17 a.m., a security camera located, heard the barking, that weird sound. And then Dylan Mortensen said that she opened her door for a third time after she heard the crying and saw. So she heard the crying. So she must have waited a little bit. Because up here she said, Dylan Mortensen said she heard a male voice. Opened the door a second time when she thought she heard was crying. Okay, so she opened the door the second time there, and then down here you say door a third time after she heard the crying and saw. I don't know. I don't understand. I don't know why, but this time it doesn't make sense to me. Is there another crying? So there was a first crying, and then she opened her door, and then a second crying, and then she opened her door again. No. I don't know. I think Ethan was just out cold. He was done. I think he drank a lot. He was very tired. Just didn't wake up. I don't think he fought back whatsoever. I think he was. All right, well, I'll try to make it work with all this stuff. I'm going to probably do a time where she's sitting on her bed and can hear sounds. I mean, I wish I had all the sound effects and everything. I mean, maybe there's a way to make the sound like it's coming from a house with wooden floors and yep. I know, so I was just wondering if she was already hurt. And then he catches up to her and he's like, no, I'm here to help you. Because I've always thought that you'd only say that to somebody that was already hurt. Like somebody's already hurt and then you say, it's okay, I'm here to help you. I mean, I'm going to help you. See, that's different. I keep saying the wrong phrase. It's okay, I'm going to help you. Not I'm here to help you. Like, and that's a totally different meaning. Like, I'm here to help you, meaning, I showed up from the outside. I'm like a medic or something. This is different. It's okay, I'm going to help you. And it's not Ethan. And not only we know it's not Ethan because Dylan said it doesn't sound like him. But why would Dylan say, it's okay, I'm going to help you to Xana? That's just, you wouldn't talk like that way to your girlfriend in a mortal situation. Found her phone. I don't know. I bet it's in the room. I mean, a lot of interesting things. I mean, I wonder if when Dylan and Bethany would call these girls, Could they hear their phone ringing? I mean, it's something I hadn't even thought of till just now. But could they literally hear the phones ringing of their roommates, but nobody answered them? I think that would make it even more freaky. You know what I mean? Like there's this ringing going on and they're going unanswered. All three of them. Kaylee, Madison, and Xana. So this is underneath my last video, the animation video. This is one of the comments. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. So why didn't they find the bloody clothing? Why didn't they find his DNA in the house? Not just on a sheath, but in the house. If there was a fight, he'd have shed DNA. Well, unless he was wearing an actual suit. You know, from somebody who actually knows how to not contaminate a crime scene, genius. Also, latex gloves do not stop fingerprints. What? And they aren't super strong, so if he was wearing gloves, how did his DNA get on the sheath? Well, idiot, like I've said 100 times in my videos, the DNA was on the sheath, and then before he left, he tried to clean it off, because I believe he was going to leave it there. And then he missed the spot that he cleaned on the button snap, and when he left it there, he missed the spot. But make no doubt about it, it was on the button snap. Let's see. And then it says, thought you said he was so well versed in how to get away with a crime that he knew what to do not get caught. But he drives his own car. Well, that's because that's a mistake on his part. But he thought he was changing his plates in the next 5 days, so that would sort of hide it. And buys the knife off of Amazon. Right, because he never thought that his DNA would be on the sheath, so him buying a knife on Amazon would never have been discovered. Considering he's doing a criminology PhD in cloud-based forensics, that is the exact opposite of everything he's learned. Now that has nothing to do with anything. Cloud-based forensics. The ID cards are probably students in the class he is a TA in. Okay. Right. So, but why does he have them? Okay, but look at the ID cards are probably students in the class he's a TA in. Okay, well, hey, good for you. Why does he have the cards, though? Didn't answer that, just moved on. The guy has no criminal record, so why would his sister think he'd gone from 0 to brutally murdering 4 people? Well, because she's been with him his whole life and probably knows he's a little off. Do you get that? Or also, a smart killer wouldn't even take the sheath. You'd need both hands, not a knife in one hand and sheath in the other. That's dumb, right? Unless you're going to leave it there intentionally. So he is a criminal mastermind, or is he not? Anyone see his license plate? No, his plate number isn't on there. Or can they tell us what exact make and model and year car on the CT? Yeah, they do know that part. Reasonable doubt, people. No, there's none. Your brain is reasonably non-existent. All right, let's see what this one. God, I hate this channel. Good on you for getting me to click and then realize that was a dumb idea and leave. Shocking animation, LOL. I don't even care enough to wait and see anymore. People are blasting a guy who's never been to trial with the shittiest evidence to ever exist. You're the kinds of people who follow around popular kids in high school hoping they will accept you, and then you all grew into thoughtless bootlicking who cannot even imagine thinking for yourselves ever. Look how stupid these people are. God. The shittiest evidence ever? Really? That's actually hilarious. Hey, good night, Linda Howe, as in Linda Molden Howe of the Cattle Mutilations and Crop Circles. Yeah, I know Lisa Valenzuela sees all these. Sometimes I have to remove her comment because I'm replying. Like, she'll say something and I'll reply. I'll just be the one that gets the hate. You don't need to be the... every time. People are blasting a guy who's never been to trial with the shittiest evidence ever. I think it's great evidence. Okay, it's like fantastic. All right, let's see this next one here. 11 minutes, he offed 4 people. Well, no, it's actually like less than 8 minutes. I think it's way less than that even. He had to be a ninja. He took out a 6'4" Ethan, carved his legs up, and all the wounds on Kaylee. If you believe this story, I got a bridge to sell you. I believe someone was in the empty room. You where the tunnel was, everybody. Was let in by someone. The one who has no action on the PCA, nor her comings and goings. You mean Bethany? Notice no one gave us any footage of coming and goings that day, but oh, they got the car. I guarantee any footage hours before on that house, not even a judge will see that. You only get a passerbys in this small time frame. There were 4 people running at 3:30. No, it wasn't. That one at Banfield, that was 3 o'clock. That is when it ended. So the murders were open at that time. That's when it ended. So from 2 to 3:30, and could be earlier. I'm going with Xana's dad. He texted her around 12. After 12, Ethan and Xana were first. And as Kaylee and Madison came home, they were greeted at gunpoint. I also believe when... look how stupid this is. You see what this is what I have to deal with every single day. Like all the comments. Just some random thought. Like you had a dream one night and you threw it in there. I also believe that JD, so one of the Jacks, was called 10 times. That's the boyfriend of Kaylee. Was called 10 times at 2:53 a.m. Both ladies' phones were compromised. Either both gave codes of their phones under duress, or someone who was at the house all evening gave the assailants access to both phones.
What are you reading? THX.
I'm reading comments underneath my my video. So look at this comment here. So the text messages, those throw off his story. So thanks, I love Jesus. They throw off his story. So then he says, oh, that was somebody else created those. And by the way, they weren't text messages, they were calls. So somebody else called then. Either both gave codes of their phones under duress, or someone who was at the house all evening gave the assailants access to both phones. So what would have happened if he'd answered the phone? They wanted JD. I even think, so he was their goal. He just never showed up, so let's kill them then. I even think that Jack in the Box was a message to JD. Oh, I get it. Jack in the Box. The assailants wanted Jack in a box, literally. The bag of food was Xana's name carefully placed under the logo, but logo clearly not obstructed, and the food order has been part of the case. JD was not picked up. Some even believe he called himself 10 times to make sure he was not implicated. Can you imagine? Look at the imagination on these people. Isn't it incredible? There's like nothing at all that points to anything that this person is saying. And yet, the comments exist. Let's see if we got any new ones. There's always something. Let's see. And by the way, my video today got more videos than it did the day before. And I'm sure now it's dying down, but it had a nice little sort of reversal of... There it is. So you can see it right there, look. $60. That's all that did. And look, it has 24,000 views now. And you can see right here. See, it had that. It was going like this, and then it picked up right there. See that little thing? So on the 20th, it ended with 11,201. So we actually today have gotten 13,000. So that might be, $70 more. That's just terrible, though. I mean, a video with that many views should make like 200 or 300, and that's why it's just a real struggle. But let's get here. Oh yeah, you can see right here. Let me show you how this works. If you come in here and you look at the, hold on, it's not opening up. Oh, there it is. Okay, so it's there, and if you get right here, like engagement. So that's only 8 minutes and 18 seconds on a 19-minute and 31, and it's getting shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter. That was 850 yesterday. I did get 122 subscribers. That's pretty good. And yeah. Oh yeah, and then right here, if you click on this, last 60 minutes. So it's still getting 400 views an hour today. It was less than that at the end of last night. Like, it was just, that's why I thought it was getting crushed. And you can see, look at that weird graph. See that? Like, just terrible. And then, boom, it shot up in the morning. And then it starts slowing down again. No, I'm not on Rumble. I think I was trying to do how to get on there, I guess. Oh yeah, what was I going to do? I was going to go to the video. Alright, let's see. So it does have 2,100 likes. That's really good. It's got 591 comments. That's pretty good for my videos. I'd say 90% are positive. Thank you for doing this. Your interview from 2022 with Missing Podcast said Kaylee was the target. Right. Yeah, I didn't say I was right the whole time, idiot. I said that we changed it to Madison way later. I mean, don't you remember that? It was like we switched it when I think when I went there in December of 2023. Yeah, I said that. We switched to Kaylee in, I think it was, December. I think it was actually in September of 2023. That was like 2 years ago. And these people are just idiots. I mean, unbelievable. Yeah, I never said I was right the whole time on that. So you think he killed Xana while Ethan just quietly watched, not attempting to call 911. Yeah, he was passed out, drunk. What about the dog? Oh, Jesus. So much work, time consuming. Yeah, see. Right, so these people, actually give a shit that somebody spent a lot of time making something. So it was sexually motivated, but he did nothing sexual to her. Yeah, well, we probably won't get... See how, like, childish these comments are that people make? We won't get to know because he was interrupted by the fact that Kaylee was there. I wish Xana was sleeping when he came in. Yeah. There's no way a person would assume that a knife sheath was left behind simply based on the info released by the police. No, I don't agree with that. I think while I think it's Papa Rogers is likely Kohberger, I think that a person using logic and reason could have said that they must have left the knife sheath there because they said it was a fixed blade knife and police were specifically looking for purchases of K-bar knives. So how would they know that? Well, because a sheath of the knife was left there, right? See, that would be a reasonable deduction that somebody could make. Isn't that a fixed blade knife identified as a K-bar knife would only be known if the sheath was left. Let's see. What was the plan to... Yeah, maybe. You can take one look at Kohberger's father and see he's crazy. Not even more. Gosh, this is terrifying. This guy keeps making assumptions. He's talking about me. And maybe, this is maybe that. How does he know Kohberger went back to attack Xana? And second, and it's, first of all, it's Xana. At least learn to spell the victims' names correctly. No, Kohberger went back to attack Xana a second time. He doesn't know. See, this is one of those people, like, this is my theory, okay? This is my theory. Come up with your own. Let's see, the order on defendant's motion. See how these just, like a lot of negative comments pop in there. In order on defendant's motion in limine regarding vague and undisclosed expert testimony mentions a defense expert who claims there is direct and indirect evidence that attempts were made by the suspect to clean up the crime scene after the homicide. That'd be, I don't know what that is. That was a defense comment, though. This crime was in my dreams this week. See you later. Let's see. Your nonsense analysis is always spot on. Would there be bloody footprints in the snow or around the outside? Might have been. We don't know. Just let the video play. It's hard to watch when you stop it every 3 seconds. God, I just want to, like, block permanently people that say stuff like that. Yeah, I played it all by itself. I'm going to explain it if I want to. If I didn't, it'd be a 2-minute video, and that's not worth my time. Serious question is the fact that he was doing the strange trash sorting thing indicative that he knew the cops were on his trail. Yeah, that's something I've said on my show, that I think the fact that he was pulled over twice, whether intentional or not, made him extremely paranoid. I mean, how wouldn't it make you feel that way? Last one said, very good work. Shame on Dylan and Bethany for doing absolutely nothing when they should have. Yeah, I'm just going to say. Yeah, well, shame on you for being an ass. Let's see. This is the dumbest thing. Yeah. I think as she was running down the stairs, she said something. Somebody's here. Could be. Yeah, I mean, it's either at the top of the stairs or... I guess I could just have the sound while Xana's moving, like, hey, there's somebody here, but then I still have to have Dylan, open the door. So it has to be a point where Xana's not moving. Yeah, people are mad at the roommates. This person said, this is so accurate, thanks. Great animation. You did a great job. K-bar, chafe, not knife. Yeah, I said, well, yeah, I know, and say that right after. I did. So I said, accidentally said, he left the K-bar knife, and then 2 seconds later I said, I think he left the sheath, and So, it's just, when you're talking, sometimes you don't say exactly the right word every single time. He has zero connection to anyone in that house, let alone Maddie. This is a joke. What connection did Bundy have to his victims? Your comment is the joke, and you sound incredibly naive. Yeah, so that's how I respond to everybody. I just don't care, And somebody says, have you looked further into Emma Bailey? And I said, no. Who the hell's that? No, what does that have to do with the case? The other alternate perpetrators the defense have presented to the judge were there the next morning. Oh, jeez. You guys are like crazy people. Was it really necessary to include the stabbings? We know it happened to them. Well, I made it blurry. It's blurry, so you're not seeing stabbings. Your voice is soothing. Excellent portrayal. Yeah. So, anyways, there you go. Good times. Good times. Well, I think, wow, I didn't realize we've been on for so long. 3 hours and 18 minutes. But I guess my opinion on the 40-page document by the defense to try to extend out the time when the trial is that I think it's a 50-50 chance that the only remedy the judge is going to come up with is to give the defense more time, and I think he'll give them 2 months, and like October will be the trial. And I mean, that's not what I think. I'm just saying there's 50-50 chance of that. I pray people blaming survivors don't find out the trauma these girls went through in similar situations. Right.
Blaming survivors don't find out what trauma these girls went through in similar situations.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, thank you guys for your generosity. So, if you weren't here, we gave $1,000 to, I forgot the name, it's called Made with Kindness, and then we gave $1,000 earlier in the month to Ethan Smile, so that's $2,000 this month back to the Idaho 4 case, and the victims, and hopefully, I think both of them are sort of like for scholarship opportunities, things like that. So, we've given $15,500 to our own scholarship funds. We've given $12,000 out so far. Every time we get up to 6, we donate all 6 to students. We've given 5 students so far thousands of dollars for their education in the criminal justice world. All right, but I know that's not good enough for the trolls out there. We just don't do enough here. So I want to say thank you to Rick Jr., Marissa Sheldon, Allie Cake, Shay 530, Amy Lemoyne, Michelle H, M Morgan, K Me gifted 5, then FSC figure skating coach, then Michelle H, then Cheryl Moran with a cat eye, then In America, then Gloria Batari, Eleni G, Allie Cake, Sean Ellis gifted 5, then Mallory Beavers, Cheryl Moran, Allie Cake, Wonder Woman, Sean Ellis gifted 5, then K Me, then Daff M, then Shay 530, Austin Huber, Mallory Beavers, Lee Ann Bell, Austin Huber, then Ivan Victor, excuse me, man, my throat, with a cat eye donation. Then Kami gifted one, Austin Huber, Daff M, Curly Lock Diva, Cheryl Moran, all gifted a membership, and then I gifted 5, and then Lanky Tor gifted 1, and then my Liama G became a new member, then Austin Huber, then Ivan Victor, who apparently won money on Indiana winning the game in New York, sent in a double cat eye, and he said that Bitcoin went up. And then Royal SYL, Austin Huber, and then Cheryl Moran with a double cat eye. And then Janelle H gifted 5, Curly Lock Diva, Justin Modo, Theo Roy, Lanky Tor, I Love Jesus, Sheena Scotty HG, and I Love Jesus again. And that's a name. I wouldn't say it like that 1,000 times, but that's the name. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the show tonight. Kind of had a lot of stuff. Did a lot of things. I guess probably the biggest thing that we did was we were able to give $1,000 to the, how come I don't remember the, it's called Made with Kindness, MWK, and that's the charity. This is this one right here. Kaylee, Xana, and Madison. I speak for many when I say Maddie Mogan, Kaylee Gonzalez, and Xana Kernodle were a light in not only my life, but every room the two walked into. I am beyond grateful to have known them in my lifetime. The Made with Kindness Foundation is a way to help their legacy alive through the probably live is what they meant, through the characteristics that made Maddie and Kaylee who they are and how they impacted those around them. Good friendship is something to cherish in this world, and I'm lucky to have had Maddie and Kaylee and Xana throughout some of the best and hardest years of our lives. The endless laughter and crazy times with them are memories I will never forget and cherish forever. The Maddie, Kaylee, and Xana Scholarship Fund will give us the opportunity to help support the lives of college students and spread kindness and compassion. The foundation is meant to be something as beautiful as the souls of these girls. And that was Ashlyn Couch. I think she's the one that was in the... No, I guess that's her. That's the one that was in the Dateline, Angela. So there you go. Want me to read this one? Or, I'm tired. I gotta get out of here. But anyways, thanks everybody. I appreciate it. And we'll see you tomorrow, alright? Who knows what tomorrow will bring? Alright, so thank you all very much for being here. And I appreciate your generosity as well. That's what allows us as a channel as a whole to be generous throughout the month, and allows me to keep doing the shows, etc. And we're able to do a lot of great things out there. You guys are awesome. And I hope you, start remembering all the good times with your dog, Cheryl. Took me about like a week or so. Then I was like, okay. Then I started remembering just all the, the cool little times. Yeah, Then it kind of sucks because then you look over and you kind of miss him sitting there. Blue loved popcorn. I mean, he ate popcorn like it was the greatest food on the planet. He would just run around, and I mean, just sort of at the end there, he was still eating popcorn. So, anyways, thanks everybody. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector, plug rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Grayl's gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Fool deflector, interceptor,
And I'm neater than a spectre with a vector.
inspector. With all respect,
Y'all, just remember,
I have a temple fucking
injection. I have no agenda. I'm a pretender.
and I'll
Serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end,
I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody? All right. Well, thanks, Dana. All right, well, guys, we'll see you later. And be safe out there.